right. Stream with your audience. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's talk about who are we? Okay. Oh, come on, people. Get in the chat. Oh, I guess I can start talking soon, and then I guess people want to start it from the beginning, I guess, and then yeah. So I just need to do the stream because I got a lot on my mind. Oh, fuck. I'm just happy the holidays are over. We're in a new year, and hopefully this year will be better. Oh, usually people kick in. I guess haven't been streaming for a while, so we'll just let it run for a bit. I was gonna make a coffee, but never mind that. I had too much yesterday. Okay, so the points I'm going to talk about today are essentially who are we? Who are we in law? The other points is so all corporations are under the crown and must respect and protect the rights and freedoms enshrined in the UDHR. So this is very important for people to understand. So if we want to be able to hold these people to account and have people listen to us, then if you know this stuff, very, very important, because this is not opinion. This is essentially fact based on their own constitutions they swore an oath to. So you're not pulling this stuff out of your ass and saying this is your opinion. You're actually quoting from the UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Freedoms, which essentially they express all the things that all corporations, which essentially all corporations in the world are not corporations. Remember that they are incorporated under one true corporation, which is the crown, the triple crown. Okay, so if you are considered a bonded surety, so if you call yourself a citizen, Canadian resident, any kind of titles like that, other than just being a man, and then you go have these contracts, you're in fact under the crown. All like McDonald's, Facebook, Google, all of these corporations, all these entities are all under the crown. Okay, you can't escape it, and anyone that's under the crown, they're all under the UEDHR, which essentially they have an obligation and duty to recognize and protect our fundamental rights and freedoms. Okay, and right now, if you look at the world, like Canada, the United States, okay, most countries are signatories to the UN. They're all in breach and dishonor, and they've exceeded their jurisdiction with what's been happening in the last 3 years. Okay, enforcing all these mandates and things like that, they exceeded their jurisdiction. Okay, and they're trying to apply all these things to us because they consider us to be bonded sureties. Okay, to a bankrupted franchise under the one and only true corporation. Okay, so now the other thing we need to understand here is how important it is to express our freedom of conscience. Okay, this is very important. Okay, because when you look at the CCRF, number one is freedom of conscience, freedom of religion, freedom of thought, all that stuff, right? So they can't mess with that. Okay, so you have your freedom of conscience, very, very important. And did you know that when you go in law and anything is the least argued thing, like they actually use it the least amount, but it's the number one at the top of the Constitution. It's crazy. That your freedom of conscience is very important because if you understand anything, is your mind is everything. Everything is mind. So without your mind, if someone's affecting you mentally on a psychological level, stopping you from being able to focus on your goals by, making false claims against you, attacking you, taking away certain freedoms and things like that, that's essentially they're in breach. They're affecting your freedom of thought, your freedom of conscience. And so when you look at the crown, what the crown actually symbolizes is essentially your conscience. Okay, that's what it is. So the crown claims to be the ultimate conscious authority over all men and women in this world. Okay, so through the Vatican, through the City of London, and Washington D.C., and then Switzerland, all these things, all these men and women that these aristocrats formulated all these constitutions, created all these things in order to essentially show that they would recognize and protect our human rights, but they can do business and do all their commerce and trade and all that stuff, but they have to make sure that they respect and recognize our fundamental rights and freedoms. They can't infringe on that unless you give them up willingly, and it has to be consensual. Your contracts, everything has to be declared to you. You cannot go into a contract and then not have everything declared, and you sign, and then they add more shit after. They can't do that. Okay, so like, you know, a lot of times when you go into contract and they'll send you another thing in the mail and then say, oh, we've made changes to the contract and stuff. You don't have to accept that. If you know the law, you can actually say, well, I don't want to accept that. Like, we had an original contract. Now you're trying to change it. Well, that's fine, but I don't agree to that. I want to stick to the original contract. Okay. So like, these are things people need to understand, is that we, as human beings, if you go to court, you need to have a contract in order for them to prove jurisdiction over us. Okay. And it's very, very important. So right now you see in Canada, we have Tamara Leach and what's the other one there? Barber. Essentially, they're being brought to trial, all this kind of bullshit. It's all fraud, folks. If Tamara Leach knew who she was and knew how to fight, and if her lawyer really understood the law very well, he would just say, listen, you know, you're not an agent for agency. You're not under any obligation and duty to the CCRF or anything like that. You have your God-given rights, and that the Crown, anyone that stops you, as long as you didn't cause harm to anybody, they can't cause you any problems. You have the right to protest. You have the right to defend yourself if the government's overreaching and pushing things on you that is going to cause you harm or injury, which right now we're finding out that, you know, these medical procedures that they've been pushing on us in the last 3 years, well, a lot of people are getting harmed and dying from this stuff. Okay. And this is not my opinion. This is fact. And it saddens me to know that a lot of people are actually, you know, in a bad place because of this, because they trusted the wrong people. Okay. And then now we need to hold these people accountable, because essentially they violated our rights. Okay. They violated us when they did that, when they pushed these things on us. And right now here in Canada, Trudeau and Freeland, the whole Liberal cabinet, it doesn't matter which, you know, it could be conservative or liberal. They don't understand anything. They're not talking about the banking problem. Okay. If we want to change economically, if we want to get rid of inflation and all that stuff, we need to like crack down on the banking system. Okay. The fraud is being committed against us by the banking cartels, folks. Okay. If we're not talking about that, if we're not talking about Switzerland and the East India Trading Company and essentially how we are all under enslavement to the Holy Roman Empire, then we're not going to have solutions. Okay. We need to fucking wake up to this reality and be able to fight things the best way. And right now I see a lot of auditors here in the States, Canada, and I really appreciate the fact that they're out there, you know, having the conversation, stuff like that. Unfortunately, a lot of people really don't understand the law very well, and they're going around auditing police and government places and stuff like that, and they're really not expressing it properly and putting them on notice the way they should be. So right now I'm trying to work on a formula to be able to, like, you know, write something down, have these things written up, and then just hand them out. Even just reach out to police like brothers. But right now, I'll be honest, my patience is very thin when it comes to police. The more I go online, the more I see more and more videos here in Canada of police expressing how they really don't understand their obligations and duties. Just a great example, we had Sûreté du Québec police constable, I think Richard Benoit. Okay, and if you're hearing this, Richard Benoit, constable, you know, dude, for you to go around saying to people that they cannot post their videos on their private property online to show that people are stealing their packages because you have the assumption of innocence. No, well, that assumption is gone once you have the evidence to show that they actually stole a package on someone else's private property. And explain to me how you can violate someone's privacy when they come on your private property and commit a crime. Like, it doesn't make sense. So this, you know, again, is Sûreté du Québec. When I look at police now, police agencies at this point, you know, and I don't like to feel this way about them. I really don't want to, but that's how I feel. Is I look at them as terrorist organizations, and that's what they are. Okay, they're terrorizing us. They're using violence to essentially push their political fucking views on us, and that's what the definition of it is. Okay, they're actually, the police right now have been used by the Canadian Liberal government to push and to essentially use their violence, their monopoly on violence, to push their views on us, to enforce it, and it's wrong. Okay, I had that shit happen to me going to the courthouse. Okay, like, you know, entering a courthouse, there's no obligation on my behalf that I have to sign and give up my private information. I don't have to, but these constables thought, and they gave themselves permission to essentially violate my rights, my friend, and my rights in the process, because they don't understand their obligations and duties. They don't understand the difference between a policy and what is law. So right now, I'm telling you, folks, things need to change. I'm telling you, like in Canada right now specifically, I have to focus here. I live in Ottawa. Okay, I'm in the cesspool of things. Okay, folks, like Ottawa's turned into a really bad place. I don't like this city anymore. I grew up here. There's a lot of good people. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, Ottawa has turned into a really bad place. A lot of people don't think much of themselves here. A lot of cowards. I'm trying to get things going. I've been trying to get lawyers. I call for my cases to try to help me out, not to represent me, but to just help me with, getting affidavits of truth out, just to help me kind of guide me in certain things, make sure I'm doing all right, and also see if they want to be part of the movement, part of the cause. And it seems that I can't find anyone, folks. I called many places. I'm getting the runaround. I got my time wasted by one law firm. Just postponing and reschedule it to finally tell me that, they don't have enough resources to be able to take on the Crown's office and the Ottawa Police Services. It's like, listen, I didn't ask you for that. Clearly you weren't listening, because all I'm asking is for help. I don't want you to represent me. I don't want you to use any kind of resource. You don't need it, because I have all the evidence to back my claims that they broke the law, that they violated my rights, that they're in breach and dishonor. So, hey, Ben Porter, how are you, man? Top of the morning to you, buddy. You too, man. Welcome. Thanks for joining. I know it's kind of early. But yeah, I was just kind of doing a stream to do a video. Really, it was not really to kind of have a conversation with people. But hey, if people want to join, that's great as well. But essentially, what I'm trying to say here, folks, is that we need to know who we are. Okay, you need to know who you are when it comes to the law. Okay, remember, the law is land, air, and water. Land, air, and water. That's what it means. We're all made of land, air, and water. We all need land, air, and water. If anyone pollutes and fucks with that shit, well, they're causing you harm and injury. You're causing harm and injury. You got to respect it. And see, right now, corporations, what are they doing? A lot of corporations, or I shouldn't call them corporations, you could just call them bankrupted franchises, because that's what they are. So all the oil companies, things like that, what are they doing? They're violating the law every day. And these people that swore an oath to uphold the law are turning a blind eye to it, because why? They have money. They have a lot of money. And what they do, they just fine them, give them fines, and then they pay it off. It's like, well, they just made $1 billion, but you're gonna fine them like, $1 million. Well, fuck, I just made $1 billion. Okay, here you go. That's not how it should work, folks. It's criminal. Okay, we live in a criminal world, folks. Okay, the whole world, every government, doesn't matter. Anyone that claims that their country has a higher moral authority than other countries is like, you need to get your head out of your ass. Okay, because no country has a higher moral authority on anybody. Okay, because they're all corrupt. Every government in every single country is corrupt. Okay, the city of Ottawa is corrupt. Okay, they're all corrupt. They're all fraud. It's all fiction. It's not even real, folks. Okay, the only reason why it has any power is because people use their human attention, our conscience, and believe it has power. Just like money. Money has value only because we believe it has value. Okay, it's only backed by our human attention. Okay, that's it. You need to understand that, folks. Is your human attention is the most powerful tool that you're going to be able to use in order to fight against these government entities. Because how is a fiction going to have power over friction? Okay, friction. When you have sex, what happens is there's friction. And then that's how life happens. It generates electricity. Okay, and that's what we're made out of, is electric magnetic energy. Okay. And see, that's what they steal from us, folks, is that they take that energy from us, they siphon it, and we give it willingly, because we are ignorant and we don't know who we are. Okay? So know who you are, folks. Okay? And who are you? Okay? Who are you? Well, you're not a corporation. Don't put titles on you. Okay? Humble yourself. Okay? When you say you're Christian, Muslim, anything like that, that's an act of violence against your brothers and sisters worldwide, because you're saying that you're better than them. You're claiming that, well, your religion or your ideology, okay, you're separating yourself from other people, from other groups of people, right? So what you need to do is we need to humble ourselves and not give any kind of credence or any kind of belief to these systems, these religious systems, these governmental systems, because they're all corporations, folks. Like, you go to church, it's a corporation. It's a bankrupted franchise. When you go into a church, a mosque, anything like that, anything that's registered, okay, which all these religions here in Canada, in the United States, if you want to have a religion, if you want to set up your mosque, whatever, they all get registered, and they're all registered into the Holy See, which is the Vatican. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're Muslim or anything. The Vatican essentially is a universal place of spirituality. They claim they're the most celestial religion, so they've taken from all religions all over the world, and what they praise, okay, what they really truly praise is Janus, the many-faced God, the God that, So if you ever look at the Crown Corporation, you look at the symbol, you'll see that you have Janus, which is, the two-faced or the three-faced God. You have one facing, the past, present, and then future. So sometimes it's symbolized with 3 faces, sometimes it's 2 faces, even 4 faces. It's actually really, when you look at it, it's 3, and then there's the hidden one behind. So there's the concept of 3 and 4 again, which is, pharaonic and all that kind of stuff. So hey, what's shaking, Stephen Rayburn? Cal Washington, yeah, he's good, man. Like, see, he talks a lot of truth because he actually figured it out. He figured out that how our money is created is through our human attention, is that we have the power to create money. Okay, and that's what the aristocrats have been doing. When you look at the royalists and stuff, well, they've just been using this against us, is that they're creating this money. People thinking, oh, it's not backed by silver or gold, or no, it's never really been the case. Our money has always been backed by our human attention, folks, is that we believe it has value. Okay, it's the same thing with gold and silver. Like, let's say I come to you and I show you gold. You never seen gold in your life. You don't know what it is. And I say, hey, this is, worth it, but you don't know what it is. So how does it have value for you when you don't actually know what it is? You're like, oh, well, it's nice and shiny, but I wouldn't give you my house for this. But then when you understand what gold is, your human attention now is knowledgeable. Is okay, well, then you can give it value and say, well, hey, gold, well, it's very highly conducive. It's got a high concentration of carbon, which is the most highly conductive element is carbon. Your brain is made of carbon. So, that's why gold is so valuable, because is highly conducive. So that's why it has value, because it's highly conducive. It gives off electricity. That's the main reason, folks. It's not because it's shiny. Yeah, the fact that it does shine, it's beautiful and stuff. It doesn't tarnish and things like that. It's very easily it's malleable. Things like that are very good things. But the biggest thing has to do with the fact that it's highly conducive. Okay, it's very energetic, just like copper and silver. There's a reason why the pharaohs and the royalists and all that stuff surround themselves with gold. Look at Trump. They surround themselves with all that gold. Why do you think? It's not because it's all nice and shiny. Trust me, folks. It's deeper than that. Okay. So remember, folks, your human attention, when you're dealing with the crown, when you're dealing with these agents, most of these people don't understand their human attention. They don't understand the value of keeping your mind sane, protecting it from outside negativity and bullshit, and then just maintaining truth and making sure that you stick to that. And that's the only authority, is truth. That's it. That's it. Okay, there's no, when people tell you, oh, I have authority, I said, no, what, how? Explain to me how you have authority. Oh, well, because if you don't, I'm going to call back up and say, oh, well, that's not authority. That's not authority. Okay, authority comes from truth. Okay, that's why when you go to court, you go in front of the Supreme Court in Canada, in Ottawa, you'll see the 2 statues. It has Veritas and Justicia, which essentially is truth and justice. So you cannot have justice without truth. You need to find the truth to be able to apply the right remedy. If I am a doctor and I'm trying to diagnose your problem, your health issue, and I misdiagnose it, and I apply a remedy that could kill you, then I didn't know the truth, and therefore I wasn't able to apply the right remedy, and I'm causing more harm. And see, that's what the Crown Corporation is doing nowadays. Okay, because most of the people that work, all the agents, all these people that work for the Crown Corporation, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know the symbols. They don't know the law. They don't understand anything. They don't even know who they are. Okay, and they don't really care much about who they are. They don't think much of themselves, and that's why they don't think much of others. Okay, they're okay with being a slave. They're okay with taking their conscience and say, "Oh, here it's okay. You take the reins and just tell me what I got to do to fit in and to really make you feel like I'm doing a great job, and then you give me pats on my back. And if I get all the convictions rates are high and stuff, this is going to look good for me. I'll be able to become a judge later and all that stuff. So as long as I jump all through the hoops and I spend all conscious fucking thought, really." Then I'll be okay with you guys. And that's what the crown is. See, when you go under the crown is symbolic of your conscience, your crown chakra, which is also, if you look at the Taurus field, look that up, you'll see, like, man, it's like you have the Taurus field, and it does a circle at the top. And that's what they're talking about. It's your energetic funnel, that you have energy entering you. And it does like a veil. So anyways, it's just these things people need to really understand, and I want to help out as much as I can, but I'll be honest, I don't have much resources. I'm just very, simple guy. I don't have a lot of money. I don't care much for money. I just do my own thing. Lately, I've been actually trying to get away from all of this because I just feel powerless to do anything, but it just keeps bringing me back. I keep, oh, you got to do something that's just, don't quit, just take a break, and here I am. So I'm trying to be more active. I've had some help. But some people make it about money, and if you're in this for money, then you're in this for the wrong reasons, and I can't work with you. And there's a lot of people that's what That's what they want to do. I've actually helped people out. I haven't asked for a penny, asked nothing for in return. They even offered me stuff, and I said, no, it's okay, man. I do this out of the kindness of my heart, helping people out with their courts and things like that, understanding the law. I don't charge anything for that. I would never charge anybody. And people have told me, oh, you should. It's like, no, man. Like, the Joker says, oh, when you're good at something, never do it for free. Well, sorry, the Joker, he had other fucking plans. My plan is like to liberate my brothers and sisters, to essentially free them from this conscious prison that we're all under the crown. Because essentially people need to break free from that. We need to essentially say, hey, I don't want to be under the crown. I don't want to be a bonded surety anymore. I don't want to be collateral debt to the bankrupted franchise called Canada, okay, that is bankrupted to the crown. Okay, I don't want to be that anymore. Okay, I'm not that, and you lied to me. Here in Canada, we've been lied to. Okay, your parents, when they signed you up with the birth certificate and all that stuff, that was essentially your parents were a lot of people were fraud was committed against your parents. They were lied to. No full disclosure, nothing. They just fucked everyone and put them in bondage. And that's what we're in right now. And that's why here in Canada, what you see when you go to court and you see what's happening with Tamara Lich and the Coots, the Coots 4 there, they're going through, bullshit right now. They're being essentially tortured right now because when you're put in jail in a rape cage and essentially you're deprived of all your rights, and then a lot of these people have been put in a hole longer than they're supposed to, that's criminal, folks. And these people need to be held to account. And let me tell you, I'm telling you, here in Canada, most people that are working for the crown, okay, and I'm talking about the crown, like the crown's office, like as prosecuting attorneys, they're criminals, okay, they're scumbags. And I'm telling you, this is a public service announcement. Anybody that works for the crown, any police officer, any RCMP, anyone that's listening to me, I'm just telling you because you need to hear it. And I'm not saying it because I want to bring you down. I'm actually trying to bring you up. Okay, you're the one keeping yourself down by continuing to work for these corporations, these bankrupted franchises that are infringing and violating people's rights and the laws of the Almighty Creator. And I fear for your soul because I know what's coming your way. Okay, and it's very important for people to understand this, is that, see, when you sport symbols, it's very dangerous. Very dangerous, especially when you don't understand what they mean. Okay, if you look in the Bible, okay, and I'm not a Christian or nothing like that, but there's a lot of good things in the Bible that you can learn from. Okay, there's a lot of truths in there, but there's been perversion. But in the Bible, one of the commandments, it says, I think it's one of the third one, it says, thou shalt not make graven images of thyself, which means that if you go around sporting symbols that you don't understand, and you're going around thinking, that you're gonna have problems. Okay, because see, all the men and women in the past that's essentially sported those symbols and committed crimes against humanity, against men and women throughout history. Well, because you're sporting that crown, that symbol. You're saying, well, it's okay that they did that 200 years ago, and now today I'm going to join and I'm going to continue doing it. So you're going to be held to account for all of it. You understand? Just like if you're a part of the Hells Angels, right? And you go around, you're part of them, and then you go around, doing all sorts of bad shit. Well, you're guilty by association in a sense, right? You know that term, guilty by association, and you have the freedom of association, right? Well, once you understand that you're part of an association that's criminal and is causing harm and injury to men and women, you have an obligation and duty to stop being part of it, right? But if you put your conscience aside and continue doing it, I have no fucking pity for you. Sorry. May God fucking throw the book at you, give you the biggest cosmic whooping you've ever had. May it happen, because when you do that, I'm sorry, I have no fucking sympathy for you now. Okay, I don't care that you have kids to feed and all that kind of shit. I don't want to hear that anymore, because it's not an excuse. Okay, that's just bullshit. You can find something else. Okay, folks. So we need to really start establishing new systems here, because the crown there is failing us big time. It's been failing us for a long time. Okay, they're not the righteous authority. They're not truth. They're the biggest frauds. Okay, they subvert the law to their will in order to commit fraud against every man, woman, and child in this world. Okay, they claim ownership over all men, women, and children, and the land, air, and water. That's what the Pope declared, unum sanctum, and that's what we're all under. So it's just what the fuck, man? What are we doing here? Are we going to continue accepting this nonsense? Are we going to sit back and then, we're thinking we're going to go protest and then we think we're going to get anywhere, when most people, these police, anybody, don't even know this stuff. They don't know this. And this is a fact. This is not my opinion. Like, this is from the research, and this is what's written in their constitution. This is the history of it. So, I wish it wasn't. I wish it was my opinion, because then I could be wrong. I could be fucking, But I'm trying. I don't push my opinions on people that I'm not confident that is true. I may say, hey, I think this is what could be whatever on certain, but when I know things to be what they are, then I will say it. And anybody that wants to argue this, like, look, man, like, you just look it up. I'll share the information. Just look up the UN. Look, man, when you read up the preamble, okay, so the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a milestone document in the history of human rights, drafted representatives with different legal and cultural backgrounds from all religions of the world. The declaration was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in Paris on the 10th of December, 1948. So as common standard achievements of all people in all nations, it sets out for the first time fundamental human rights to be universally protected, and it has been translated into over 500 languages. The UDHR is widely recognized as having inspired and paved the way for the adoption of more than 70 human rights treaties applied today on permanent basis at global and regional levels, all containing references to it in their preambles. Okay, so now here's the preamble. Okay, and this is why it was written. Okay, so he's telling you why. That if you don't respect these articles while performing your duties, you are essentially going against this. Okay, so whereas recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world, right? Whereas disregard and contempt for human rights have resulted in barbarous acts which have outraged the conscience of mankind, and the advent of a world in which human beings shall enjoy freedom of speech and belief, and freedom from fear and want has been proclaimed as the highest aspiration of the common people. Okay, so that means if you don't go with that, then you're essentially saying that you want injustice and you want wars and you want bad things to happen. You want people to be left wanting. And when you do that, what's going to happen is that they're going to cause crimes. They're going to commit crimes, because when you don't have the things you need to live, you're going to take it where you're going to find it, even if you have to use violence to get it. So whereas it is essential, if man is not to be compelled to have recourse as a last resort to rebellion against tyranny and oppression, that human rights should be protected by the rule of law. Whereas it is essential to promote the development of friendly relations between nations, whereas the people of the United Nations have in the Charter reaffirmed their faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and worth of the human person, in the equal rights of men and women, and have determined to promote social progress and better standards of life and larger freedom. Whereas member states have pledged themselves to achieve, in cooperation with the United Nations, the promotion of universal respect for and observance of human rights and fundamental freedoms, whereas common understanding of these rights and freedom is of the greatest importance for the full realization of this pledge. Okay, so see, folks, pretty serious. Okay, so like I'm telling you, like, see, this is how you fight these people, is that you use this constitution, and remember, do not draw your rights from it. It only simply expresses them. Okay, your rights and freedoms are God-given. These things are just expressing that we all have these rights and that it's important to respect them. Why? Because if we don't, we're going to have war. We're going to have problems. We're going to have criminal fucking running rampant, which that's what's happening in our governments. The very people that are essentially supposed to respect this are not respecting it. And the reason why is because most of these people, if not all of them, have sworn an oath, signed a contract to this constitution on bad faith. Because guess what, folks? Most of them haven't even read it. So if you haven't read what you're going to sign up and contract to do, and you say, oh yeah, I sign right here today that I'm going to respect everything that's in that document, and then you don't read it, that means you signed it on bad faith, that never did you have any intention of fulfilling your obligations and duties to the International Covenant. Okay, so see how we got them, folks? This is how you're going to get them. Okay, this is how we get these people, is that every cop here in Canada, every police officer, if you put him on the stand and he doesn't understand that the CCRF is actually the reason why the CCRF, the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, was created and drafted to fall in accordance with the International Covenant, the UDHR. If they don't know that, they're in dishonor, folks. Okay? And nothing that this man or woman says should ever be taken seriously, that they have no authority at that point because they're in dishonor. They've actually admitted to fraud. And that's a fact. That's just a fact. Okay? It's like, they can't argue against it, folks. I've tried. So when you sign a contract saying that you're going to do these things and then you do the total opposite, if you read it and you're doing the total opposite, you're a fucker. But if, let's say you didn't read it and you do the total opposite, I could have a little bit of fucking, forgiveness for you, but really no, because like, what the heck, man? Why would you sign something without fully reading it? Which, we're all guilty of it. I mean, how many times people sign phone contracts, telephone contracts? How many times do you read the whole thing? Fuck no. No one reads the whole thing. It's so much. They make it so long that you don't want to read it. And that's the bullshit, folks. You can make these contracts super simple and short. But the reason why they make them so long and complicated is because they don't want you to read it and they want you to sign on bad faith. And then that's how they get you in dishonor. And that's how they become a bonded surety, and that's how they get you. Okay? That's how it is, folks. It's simple as that. Like, I'm sharing some stuff that most people are not going to share with you out there. This is my own little system, my own thing I think about, because all the information I go and learn, I take a break, I bring it inside with me, and I explore and I play with it for a while. I just use my human attention to try to make, okay, does this make sense? Does this hold true? And I try to find all the arguments. It's like, how could I be wrong? And I do a little bit of research after to say, okay, well, maybe there's some flaws, because I want to be able that this is like, a foolproof plan. You know what I mean? Like that this is 100%, when we go, it's going to work. And the only reason why it wouldn't work is because now you're dealing with ignorant people and that they're tyrants. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Like when you go to court, a lot of times when you're dealing with these judges and crown attorneys, they're very ignorant. And when you bring up this stuff to them, it resonates. Trust me. They get like fucking nervous and shit. It shakes them. I guarantee you, because I've seen it. Okay, I went to court. I've had the crown, back off, and I went in front of 3 judges, no lawyer, fuck all. I just boom, no motions. Okay, because you don't need to file motions, folks. Okay, the law is expressed orally. Okay, that's how you express law, not first and foremost. Okay, if I tell you with my voice and my intent behind my voice that, hey, dude, you're hurting me, stop. If you don't understand and you tell me, oh, well, you write it down for me and then send it. No, I don't have to. So the courts will act and say, no, I don't have to file a motion. Okay. Everything is on record. When I go to court, everything's being recorded. Someone's writing it down. So there's no way that it's not being recorded. It's just they want you to fucking sign shit and sign their paperwork and get you into bondage. Okay. Because when you use their copyrighted material, just like if you use the calendar, the Gregorian calendar is copyrighted material, folks. When you use your birth certificate and then you say, hey, I was born on March 16th, 1980, you're using the Gregorian calendar, which is copyrighted material of the Holy Roman Empire. And now you're subject to terms and conditions, folks. And that's a fact. And see how they get you? Because you don't know who you are. Okay? A lot of things in life are fraud. Okay? Our calendar is fraud. It's actually it's considered the error in time. Okay? We had a different calendar before. Okay? It was called the 13 Bactans, which essentially had there's different kinds. You could have some of them with 10. So there was 13 months, which you're supposed to have 13 months of 21 days each, something like that. So anyways, the Gregorian calendar is based on the lunar cycle, not the solar cycle. Okay. And that's the thing. So like you're in darkness, essentially. They're keeping you in the dark and death, because darkness is relating to death and darkness and ignorance and all that shit. And then the light, day, the sun, which is essentially the light, truth, all that stuff. Right. So we need to understand this stuff, folks, because see these people that rule over us, the pharaonic dynasties and the Persian princes and all the bourgeoisie and aristocrats, they understand this shit, okay? They teach their families this stuff. Like, you're born in these families, they're going to teach you this shit. And you're going to know it, and the rest of the world's not going to know it, so you have an advantage over people. And that's what they do, which that's bullshit, folks, okay? If you have great knowledge, okay, you have an obligation and duty to share it with your brothers and sisters and try to help people become better than what they were yesterday. We have an obligation to each other, okay, to ourselves, number one, and then to each other to say, hey, man, we got to make this a better place for everyone. And the only way that's going to be achieved is if every man, woman, and child understands who they are and their obligations and duties, and know that you can't go around hurting people, that you can't be deceitful, You can't go against these laws because these principles are our foundations. That if we go against that, well, like the preamble says, right? We're going to go into war. We're going to have problems. We're going to have a lot of problems. Okay. And so I'm just saying, folks, like I'm just making this stream right now because like I just been feeling compelled. I really don't want to do this shit, folks. Trust me, I do not want to be doing YouTube videos about this stuff. I really want to be doing other stuff. I want to enjoy life, but I can't when I know that we have guys like Trudeau and Freeland still in power. Okay, Twitchy Bird and fucking Stutter Trudeau. Okay. And the rest of their minions, and then their security detail and the RCMP going around and assaulting journalists and stopping them from asking questions, hard questions that these politicians are supposed to be able to answer, but they don't want to. Why? Because they know they're wrong. If you're doing the right thing, folks, if you are confident that you are doing everything right, when people question you about it, you will not hesitate. You will be happy to answer the question and show how good of a job that you're doing and doing what you're doing. But when you're not doing a good job and you know you're full of shit, you don't want to answer the questions. You're going to try to, huff and puff and get upset or start being condescending or use, violence to stop the person from asking you that question because you know it's going to make you look bad. Not because they're making you look bad. It's because you look bad on your own because you have not done your homework, that you're not what you say you are. So see, this is what's happening is that the journalists in Canada, the people that are asking these questions, again, they always say, oh, you're arguing. It's like, how am I arguing when I'm asking you a question? How, like, if I'm in court and I'm asking the judge a question and he's accusing me of arguing and, I'm not going to argue. Is it, well, okay, I'm not asking you to argue with me. I'm asking you a question. It's a very simple question and you need to answer it. You have an obligation and duty to answer this question. You don't want to answer it. Well, why don't you want to answer it? Well, because you don't know the answer. That's the only reason why. Okay, folks, and that's the thing is that you're dealing with a lot of people that are they're like children. They're still in the schoolyard, folks. Most people in government are in the schoolyard. Okay, there's still that childish mentality. They're not responsible. Children are not responsible, right? They want to be told and things what to do, but they want to be rebellious sometimes, right? But these people, that's what you're dealing with, is that they're going to pull tantrums on them, and when you get them, oh fuck, man! Like you want to see how violent and frustrated they get with you. Yeah, it's wild. So I'm just going to look at some comments. Sorry, guy, I didn't read there, but hey, couldn't find you after. So glad you posted. Oh, all right. Really, eh? Axiom Cure. Man, I want to get in touch with you, bro. I want to go on Elemental and stuff. I had problems with it, and I want to establish with you, man. I've got the internet and stuff. I've been trying to stay away, bro. But yeah, dude, like I really want to fight. We gotta have a we have to have a conversation. It'll be too long, brother. Diana Jerry Amore, too. Greetings, yes. Greetings to you. Good, you're doing live. Well, yeah. It took me a lot. It took me like 5 days to like work up the freaking courage to want to do a video, folks. I'm telling you, like I've been going through so much. 2A Milush, hey buddy, how you doing, man? Good to see you, fellow warrior here. Just in judo, yes. Well, I grew up karate and jiu-jitsu, but judo essentially jiu-jitsu is pretty similar. The only difference, judo, there's no strikes essentially. But yeah, yeah, martial arts. I've done many martial arts. I grew up in that stuff. Karate, Shotokan and Shitoryu. My uncles were like senseis. They used to beat the shit out of me all the time. So I was like their little ragdoll to practice on until I got older. They still try, but they got bad backs now. So I tell them, hey, watch yourself. I'll break your hip. So yeah, no, it's martial arts actually helped me a lot with not just the study of the martial arts, but the history and things like that. It's helped me a lot on my way for sure, big time. Well, you're welcome, Diana. It's my pleasure. I just, like I said, I'm just reaching out hopefully to meet people that are essentially on the same page and they're feeling frustrated, probably feeling powerless. They're seeing the bullshit in the world. It's not fun, folks. I know. It's like, it must be frustrating. I have to fight off violent thoughts every day. It's a lot of work, folks. My freedom of conscience because of these people has been affected big time. And dude, like I said, you guys, like, the fact that these people are fucking, that's the law. Like your conscience, when you look at the 7 Hermetic principles, number 1 principle is everything is mind, right? So like if you fucking with someone's mind and, using lawfare against people or, there's laws in place, folks, and there's consequences and repercussions. Trust me. Okay, we all face justice when we die, and that's why I try to work towards walking that path and not fuck with anybody. Okay, and also I don't, with all the information that I've gathered, I don't keep it to myself. That's why I do these YouTube channels and put it out there and try to reach out. I reached out to Santos Bonacci. This is one of the first guys to really expose all of this stuff. I reached out to that guy. I've been, in contact with him on and off. I was part of his presentation. Same thing with Sean Ross. Jordan Maxwell, Truth Warrior, David Whitehead, Michael Tessarion. Like, these are all people that essentially have expressed, like, great knowledge about the history and the symbols and who these secret societies are and how the world is governed truly. I owe a lot of thanks to them, and I just felt, well, I got to pay it forward, and I got to go and put in my own little flavor of my own knowledge into it, and hopefully that inspires people. Because right now I'm actually feeling frustrated because here in Ottawa, I can't find anybody to come with me to like stand with me, and I need backup, folks. Okay, last time I tried to go on my own, when you're alone, when you're one person, like, I was able to fight off the crown and stuff like that with my words and whatever, but what I had to go through was bullshit. Because if I would have at least 5-6 people to be there with me, that Constable Benjamin wouldn't have pulled that bullshit. I'm sure of it. Okay, we would have had witnesses against him. He would have been in a bad place, and he's already in the bad place. Because if you're hearing this, Constable Adrian Benjamin Cupido, that's his middle name, Cupido, which essentially is the Cupid. It's funny because my name is Shal Eras, which is hyphenated. So Eras means God of love, which is essentially also the Cupid, which we have the same kind of middle name. It's funny. But anyways, yeah, if you're hearing this, buddy, it ain't over. It ain't over, but you didn't get away with it. Okay, whatever you think you did, you didn't get away with it. I'm still going to hold you to account. The day will come, okay? And I will give you an opportunity to act honorably and own up to it. I'll still give you that opportunity. But if you want to just, double down, don't worry, bud. Don't worry. I know the remedy for you. I know how to fix you, bud. Okay? You're going to know who I am. And you're going to find out who you are in all this too, bud. Okay? And I say this with great love, respect, and honor, my friend. Okay? That's my sword, shield, and armor. And, it's not because I want to bring you down, actually. It's actually, I'm trying to help you out here, Constable Benjamin. Because right now, if you keep on this path, you're setting yourself up to have a really bad, bumpy fucking ride in the afterlife. Guaranteed. So you better, anybody in this life, when you got your contracts to fulfill, all your obligations stuff, you better do it before you die. I'm telling you. Get right, folks. Fulfill your contracts to yourself and the people that you essentially promised them to. And if you don't fulfill them and you cause harm and injury, you better offer remedy on your own accord. And if people bring the evidence of fact back to claim that you caused them harm or injury and they want to be made whole again and you deny it, may God have mercy on your soul. Trust me, it's not going to be a good time for you, okay? Like, trust me, there's fucking things in place, okay? Like, these people are not that intelligent. When you think of Crown, they think they're ahead of you. They think they have all this power because they have the power to say they have a bunch of ignorant people working together that are just going to act and say, oh, yeah, okay, I'm going to do it. That's not power, folks. That's not power. They're actually causing themselves more harm. And the more that they try to pull you down and hold you and they pull it down, see what happens when they do that to you, okay? And you stand for truth. What they're going to do is that they're pulling down, just like when you're pulling on a bow and arrow. So you're pulling on the bow to, well, you're the arrow, and then they're pulling down on that arrow, but eventually they won't be able to hold it anymore. And what's going to happen, they're going to have to let go. And you're going to fucking fly, okay? They're going to shoot up so fucking high in the sky, you won't even see them. They'll be out of your fucking purview. It won't even matter to you. And they'll be left in your dust. And those people will be left with their fucking nonsense to deal with. Okay? So that's my inspiration to you to tell you. Like, anytime people try to pull you down and stuff, well, just remember that eventually, the more you stand in truth, and if they try it, that you will fucking fly. Okay? It'll come. But right now, you're getting pulled down little by little. It's gonna, it sucks. But eventually, they're gonna have to let go. They won't. The hand's gonna quiver and they're gonna have to let it go, and then you're gonna fly. You're gonna fucking go. So, and that's what I'm waiting for. And I'm gonna be thankful to them. I was like, hey, thank you, because you were so damn ignorant, and I knew the truth about your ignorance, and I knew what you were doing. Wow, I used your own ignorance against you to help me propel me into the next fucking best thing. You know, and that's why the suffering that I'm going through right now, I don't mind it so much anymore. I don't. I really don't. Like, actually, I kind of embrace it sometimes. Some days I can get really upset. Like, was it 2 days ago? Dealing with Gatineau, the city of Gatineau, because they keep sending me these fines that they fine me for, like, they're saying jaywalking and obstructing police, and then one was a parking ticket, which this is 2012. There's a big winter storm. Okay, so like I'm not parked, but I'm driving up to my cousin's place. His whole laneway is like you can't, because it's full of snow. So I can't park there, and I'm not there to stop or park there. So I end up getting stuck on the street, and there had all these signs up saying, "Oh, they're plowing, whatever." So I'm stuck. I put my four ways on, literally go in 5 minutes to get my cousin. Hey, come help me out to out. As I come out, my four ways are on. The car's still on. Clearly, I'm stuck in the snow, but this fucking bylaw officer decides to put a ticket on my window. Yeah. Like, this is what I'm talking about, folks. Like, people like that, I fucking loathe these people, man, because they can't use reason. They can't see, oh, buddy's got four, the car's on. Okay, he's not parked. Clearly, he's not parked. Maybe he's stuck. He looks like he's stuck. Okay, I'm not. I'll wait. Maybe, okay, I'll just go around, see it, and I'll come back. No, not even. Like, hey, just put ticket. Hey, I don't care about the consequence. I'm calling this guy. $200 they want from me for that. $200. You know, and it's like, how do you justify giving someone $200 ticket and asking them to pay that when they didn't hurt anybody? Like, I didn't, like, when I went, there was no plow truck, nothing. I wasn't obstructing anybody. I'm stuck in the fucking snow here. So it's just what I mean about government is that they're supposed to help you, but instead of like say, hey, buddy, could have said, hey, like, I'll get someone to help this guy out. No, let's give him a ticket. Let's give him a nice ticket. And that's why I don't respect bylaw. Like, if ever you see a bylaw officer on the street, you go up to him, ask him, what do your symbols mean? They don't know? Quit your job. You're committing fraud. Stop this. Stop extorting from people. You're an extortionist. You should call them out. They need to hear it. And if more people every day call these people out, the police and stuff like this, and they express the truth of what they truly represent, eventually they're going to say, fuck, I can't do this anymore. They're going to stop. But that's what needs to happen. And just like this woman I was on the phone 2 days ago talking about these tickets and stuff like that, I'm trying to resolve this. She's getting all emotional on me, telling me, oh, well, I can't do anything for you. Like, no, I'm just asking you, how is it? Can we reverse this? I want to be able to settle the controversy because I don't owe you guys that. I'm just trying to like resolve the situation, like a conversation. She's getting all excited and emotional, talking over me, and then eventually she hangs up on me. So I'm like, okay. So I have to call back again, wait. So she made me wait 20 minutes. I rang for 20 minutes the second time because she knew it was me. And when she answered, she acted like, oh, like she didn't know it was me. And I just went back to say, listen, I just want to resolve this. I said, I don't owe you this. I said, what can I do to have you put this on hold and I can go and we can resolve this in the court or whatever. And then all of a sudden, again, she just, I told you that. I said, okay, fuck, like, man, like, and she hung up on me. Like, I got mad. I got really fucking mad at that point. I was like, yo, like the people like that. And then it's funny because when you look at it, when you're calling, they got this message goes on. It's like, no, we will not accept abusive behavior. But yet they're the fucking first ones to have abusive behavior, condescending tones, hang up on you, not identify who they are, which they're obligated to. That's what I mean, folks, is that, see, our government are filled with fucking children, criminal, terrible children that are fucking just like little pulling tantrums, and they know they can get away with it because they have the power of the state that's going to back them up, that they'll take their word over you. And that's why they stop people here in Canada from being able to record them, because they know that's the equalizer that's going to put them in the fucking hole, that is going to essentially equalize everything, that they can't use their fucking lies against you anymore. And that's the problem we're having here with this whole camera shit here in Canada. You can't film in public. Police, you're violating my privacy. Dude, you're so ignorant of the law, it's not even funny. You don't understand the difference between private and public. You need to stop working, doing your job, and go, I don't know, fucking do work at McDonald's. Because you clearly, they're not qualified. They're not fucking qualified. And this is frustrating, folks, to have to deal with that, especially when you know what I know, and I'm dealing with these fucking children. You know, if I was a lesser of a man, and I'm telling you, this is and people need to hear that, eh? Like, I'm telling you, this is serious. And I'm telling you, a lot of people don't say it, but I know there's a lot of people that think it and feel it inside. But if I were less of a man, I had no fucking control and integrity and no love in my heart, I would do a lot of damage, folks. I would have done a lot of damage, and I can. But I every day I work towards finding peaceful solutions. That's what I do every day, despite how I feel. Despite that, I feel justified inside of me to defend myself against these tyrants, these terrorists. I do. When I look at them, and if they want to come at me with these fines, they're saying I owe them $1,000 for what? There's no proof of any crime. I didn't hurt anybody. They have no evidence of fact to back the claim that their constitution applies to me. They have no contract with me. No one's bringing a claim against me. It's just they're saying, oh, I owe this, and there's because wrongful parking, and then saying I jaywalked and that I obstructed police. Well, because they're saying something doesn't make it so. And also, it's like, how is it that you're going to try to apply a constitution to me without actually having a contract with me? So you see, that's the thing. It's like, well, if they want to keep coming at me, and I sent them a nice email. I'll read it to you. And this is the kind of stuff that we need to get used to sending off to these people, okay? Because they need to hear it. They need to hear it, man. So this was, and when you look at emails, it's mail. It's considered mail. So anyways, I wrote, good day. My name is Charlotte Osdenami. I'm contacting your service corporation in order to try to settle a controversy. You have issued me 3 fines and rendered a default judgment on these fines. My question is, what evidence of fact do you have to back your claim that your constitution applies to me just because I'm physically in Gatineau? Also, do you have a verified claim that I have trespassed against another man or woman? Who in your service corporation claims that I am their property? Who is the man or woman who is bringing these claims against me? Does anyone from your service corporation have a contract with me? If you have answered no to all my questions and cannot provide the evidence, then I suggest you stop sending me mail claiming that I owe you, your service corporation, a debt, or I will file a claim of trespass against your service corporation and the men and women who are pushing this fraud against me. I say this with great love, respect, and honor. What you are doing is an act of treason and war against me. You need to stop immediately because you are affecting my freedom of conscience in the worst kind of way. Your service corporation and all of its agents are under obligation and duty to respect and recognize our human rights and freedoms. I suggest you guys read up on your obligations and duties because I have so much evidence to prove that your service corporation, along with all of its agents, are in breach and dishonor of their obligations and duties to the CCRF and the UDHR. And when you talk like that to people, and when you send things like that, I'm telling you, folks, they get oh, fuck, I never heard that. That's it kind of shocked because it's like, it's truth. It's like, yeah, what evidence do you have? What is it that thinks that you guys are going to have rules? You're going to write them all down and then automatically think they apply to us. It's like fucking working at McDonald's or going to McDonald's. I don't go to McDonald's. Don't ever go to McDonald's. I don't recommend it, but I'm just saying it's just an example. You walk into the McDonald's, just because you're physically in the McDonald's does not mean that you're subject to the terms of the policies of the McDonald's, right? You don't have to follow all the fucking policies that all the employees have to follow, right? But that's what they think, is that because, we all sign and we agree. Well, then that means everyone else has to agree. And then if they don't fall in line, we're going to force it upon you. Well, that's terrorism, folks. That's the very definition of terrorism. Pushing your opinions, your political opinions or ideologies on other people with violence. So that's what our governments are, folks. Okay, it's not reason. It's not. They have no moral ground. Okay, these people are not moral. We should not listen to them ever. Right now, we have proof. Right now, that these people are liars. They're known liars, pathological liars, narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic liars. And not only that, they do a lot of other things too, okay? Like really bad things. And when you look at, the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing and all that kind of stuff, dude, guys, it's like whatever you think it is, it's worse. Trust me, okay? It's worse. What's going on in this world, man, I'm telling you, we need to wake up, okay? Because a lot of men, women, and children right now are suffering at the hands of these corporations, of the crown. And a lot of men and women right now are standing by and doing nothing and allowing it to continue. And they know better. So, and these people in police right now, the RCMP needs to be abolished here in Canada. Okay, the crown has to go. These are all criminal institutions, if you ask me. They're all essentially created by the aristocrats. which are essentially, you know, the royalists and all that stuff, which are they're criminals. Okay, we know they're criminals. We know they all that money. No fucking way that you have all that power and money, and that you're not doing bad stuff. We have all the evidence. We look at the history of you guys. Like you think you guys, at the turn of the century, all of a sudden you became good. Oh, after World War II, I guess we're gonna be good now. We're gonna write this international law there, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and then we're gonna write it all down. And now we're not gonna be raping and pillaging people and parasiting off your people anymore because we wrote this Constitution. No, they don't change. People don't change overnight, over a century like that. They're all scumbags, folks. Okay, and there's good people in the aristocratic families that tried in the past to try to, unfortunately, it just never works out. Because right now we need to, as people, see right now the wars that are happening. You got Ukraine and Russia. You have Gaza and Palestinians and Israel. I don't take sides, folks. I don't side with Israel or Palestine. I actually side with the people of Israel and Palestine, because they're the ones suffering at the hands of their governments, because their governments are cahooting against their own people, perpetrating that war. That's what they're doing, okay? And people need to stop going around saying that Jews are the problem and all that stuff, and because it's okay, guys, it's not like that. It's people, okay? It's not Christians, it's not Jews, it's not Muslims, it's not Canadians, it's not Russians, it's people, okay? It's people that are fucking stupid and ignorant, and they want to fucking control everything. It's people, and then they take on these ideologies and hide behind them to try to mask that they're good people, because these religions are supposed to claim that they have morals. That, supposedly that if you have a part of a religion, well, it makes you a moral person automatically. It doesn't. Okay, what makes you a moral human being is by learning who you are and knowing what you are. And when you fall for pharaoh tales, okay, which that's what, all these religions are pushing on you, okay, for you to be part of it in that sense, okay? Any religion that wants you to be part of a club is wrong. What you want to be part of is ideology, is people saying, hey, we're here to seek truth. That's it. We want to know the truth of what's going on, and we have to be open that we could be wrong, and that later on we could be proven wrong, and that anyone that comes and challenges us, that we're not going to get violent and then try to push our ideologies because someone's trying to prove us wrong. That's not how it should be. It should be, no. Your religion, your ideologies, whatever you follow should be based on seeking truth always. The truth of what it is. What is the facts? Like, for you to go and claim that, Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins. What evidence of fact do you have to back that claim, other than the fact that the Holy Roman Empire is making that claim, and you're just adopting it for yourself? Did you think of it yourself? Is that your own? Have you really explored with it inside of yourself? How does that make sense to you that someone 2,000 years ago would go through whatever they went through and died for us, for our sins that we are committing today, that he died? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Do you even know? No one expresses it. When you ask any Christian that says it, they can't express it. They don't understand it. It's faith. They go on faith. No, it's just you're going on the word of someone else. That's it. That's wrong, folks. And I'm not trying to shit on Christians. I actually care a lot about everyone. Like I said, I love people. I want people to break free from all this nonsense, okay? That means for Muslims, Jewish, Buddhists, Christians, Catholics, it doesn't matter, okay? I'm sending out love to you. Just because I'm critical of you, don't make it that I hate you and that I want to bring you down or nothing. I'm just critical. I'm just critical of your ideologies and what you think. And the reason why is because it's causing harm. If it wasn't causing any harm, I wouldn't be so critical. But I have evidence to back the claim that your ideologies, your way of thinking, has caused harm in the past and it's causing harm today. Because look at World War II. When you look at the fucking burials, you'll see a lot of Christian crosses. And what was happening? It was Christians killing mostly Christians in Europe. Okay? So you guys were your own worst fucking enemies. You were killing each other. So, there's a problem here. When you guys are like freaking going around basing your reasons why you're going to hurt people is on your ideology, and then because other people don't believe what you believe, and you give yourself justification to punish people, there's something wrong with you, and I'm going to be critical of you 100%. Okay? And I want the same from you. If I'm going to start fucking making claims like that, I want you to fucking correct me and be critical of me and say, hey, dude, like, Chucky, what are you doing, man? Like, you're talking a little crazy here, man. Like, and here's why and I'll be okay. That's how we got to be humble. We got to humble ourselves. And that's one thing I could take from the message of Jesus is humble yourself. Like I said, like, I'm not going to shit on the Bible. I'm not, because there's a lot of truth. There's a lot of good things in there. Just like if I watch a movie, just because I didn't like certain parts of the movie, don't mean I'm going to say, oh, the movie sucked. Right? I'm going to say, oh, well, the movie was actually pretty good. This part of the movie, but hey, it was actually a good experience. I enjoyed it, whatever. Right? So same thing in the books or the scriptures and things like that. Just because there's a lot of bullshit in it doesn't mean that there's not truth that you can learn from and then adapt and then apply to yourself, right? So, yeah. So what was the other laws, other points I wanted to talk about? So I talked about freedom of conscience must be really understood. So I need to explain what a person really means. And so I think a lot of you really know there, but I mean, this is for people that haven't listened or ever listened to me before. Is a person in law is essentially is a legal fiction. And so when you go to court, you got to make sure that you are not going in there as a person and that you tell the judge that you don't want to be recognized as a legal person, that you're there as a living, breathing man. Okay. And they have to recognize that, folks. And you may have judges, okay, and I had the same fucking shit happen. Okay. Like they're trying real hard to like discourage you from breaking free from their constitution. Because once you do that, then, because if the judge, just to show you, the judge is part of the crown. He works at the courthouse. I was at the courthouse. I was attacked by an agent of the crown in that same courthouse. So they all work together. So this constable brings a claim against me. Then I'm going to go in their courts and they're going to have judgments against me when they all work together. That's a conflict of interest, folks. Okay. It's like they should know that. But see, the judges, the two first judges, essentially, like the first one, Judge Wadden, he was all right. But it's just to show you, like, these people don't really understand their roles. But like they're trying real hard to keep me, because once I would establish that in the court and they would have to recognize that I'm not a legal person, okay, their whole case would go out the window, because see, they can't apply their whole thing of stopping someone from filming inside the courthouse. Okay, because I'm not a person. If I'm not recognized as a legal person, I'm a living, breathing man. Their whatever policies inside the courthouse doesn't apply to me. I'm not an employee there. So whatever things that they're putting inside there doesn't. I going into the courthouse need to just have my moral compass. Okay, basic law is do no harm. So if I'm in the courthouse, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm sitting there. If I'm recording whatever, like, my conversation with public servants, I have every right to. I'm not hurting anybody. How could I be hurting anyone? So if I'm hurting someone, if I'm causing harm to someone by videotaping or filming in the courthouse, then explain to me, how is the courthouse, which they have cameras everywhere, filming us all, how is it that now they're not hurting anybody? So if I'm hurting someone, that means they must be hurting someone, right? So you see what I mean? See how you can argue these people? Is like, again, the only reason why that would apply to me is that they have a contract with me agreeing that I've given up my God-given rights. See, my camera, my phone, this is my witness. Okay, if I go in a courthouse alone by myself and I'm having a controversy with anybody, I'm in a public setting, even if I'm in a private property. Okay, if I'm in private property, okay, and I'm with my friend or whatever, and then he starts fucking threatening me, starts saying, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to, I'm like, dude, are you serious? And he starts going on, and I pull out my phone, I start recording him to have the evidence. Says, hey, man, he's threatening my life here. Like, okay, and I start recording. He could tell me, we'll stop recording. You got to get off. I'll get off the part, but you can't obstruct me, because at this point, this is my witness. And if you try to obstruct this, that's obstruction of justice. That's essentially also witness intimidation in a way. Because if I have no other witness, but this is my only means of having a witness, and also this is to preserve truth of what really happened. So you can't take away a tool that's essentially there to preserve the truth, which that's what we want when we go to court, is truth in order to apply justice. Well, if you're stopping me from being able to preserve the truth before even going to court, that makes you a criminal. That makes you that you're obstructing justice. So this is what I'm saying to you folks. Like, here in Canada, we have a big fucking problem. Not only here, but in the States, but I'm just focusing here in Canada. Police are harassing people. They're arresting people. People have been charged, okay, criminally charged for simply filming in public and exercising their God-given rights to be able to have a witness of what really happened, especially when engaging with public servants. Okay, folks, and this is important. So when you go to court, so if I would have went and they had to admit that I'm not a legal person and recognize me as a living, breathing man, the Crown would have had nothing, because at that point, Constable Benjamin had no right to do what he did. And the thing is that I wasn't recording inside neither. He thought I was. I had it ready to record, but it wasn't. I just went in to ask him to come outside so we could talk, try to resolve the controversy like men, right? Because that's what you're supposed to do, folks. Okay, I did everything right. And by trying to do everything right, I got fucked by the Crown and government and the police, Ottawa Police Services, because they don't want you to do the right thing. They don't want to be obligated to have to stand there like a man and talk things out. They want to go through their second, third, fourth party process to confuse everything and get too many people involved, so they confuse everything, so now they can profit and essentially blur the truth. And that's what they do. It's all about trying to confuse you, folks. They use all this shit, these tactics, to fuck with your mind, your human attention. If they get in there, folks, they've already won. Okay, so that's why you need to understand this. When you go in front of the Crown and you know this, and you let them know that you know this, and then they'll know eventually. They'll fucking understand that they don't know this, and that they should know it, and they're gonna feel really naked, because I've seen a lot of this stuff happen, man. If you ever listen to Christopher James, Truth Warrior, like he's had situations, man. Like, you know, there's many people. There's Dean Clifford, Robert Menard. You know, they went through a hard time. Like, they've been in jail. They did all this stuff, but in the end, they're laughing now. They've been proven right. You know, they put, like, now, if you look at Robert Menard, he's not part of Canada. He's not part of the Crown. They can't fuck with him. Actually, they have anytime they stop and pull this guy over, there's a fucking note, and they say, yeah, don't fuck with this guy. Okay, that's powerful. That's powerful. That's where I want to be at, and that's where Canada needs to be. The Canadian, like, people here in Canada, we need to say, hey, Crown Corporation, we're no longer your bonded sureties under your bankrupted franchise, okay? We're not collateral debt, and you're not going to treat us like slaves anymore, and you're not going to fucking push your constitutions on us, and you're going to respect your obligations and duties that you essentially swore an oath to. We're going to hold you to the flame of truth and all that stuff. So, you know, we need to really get down on that shit, folks, because I'm getting to the point, man. I'm getting really, like, I don't want to live on this fucking world anymore. Trust me. Like, I'm telling you, I'm at that point. Like, I'm at the point I'm ready to die. I'm just ready to fucking, I'm not going to put up with this shit. Okay? It's not going to happen. It's been fucking 3 years. I've been at this for a long time. But the last 3 years with all this bullshit that's been happening, got worse. And I went through a lot of shit, okay? I've been attacked physically, mentally, spiritually, on a level that most men, most women would have lost their minds, would have fucking, like, freaked out. There would have been danger. There would have been, you know, there would have been death and destruction. Trust me. But I don't believe in that. I don't, you know, I don't allow them to have that power over me. As much as that those feelings generate inside of me when they act stupid and whatever, and I start fantasizing about what I want to do to them, I push those things back down and say, no. And that's why your human attention is good, to have that power to be able to go through it in your mind. So therefore, you don't have to do it physically. You know, like, I don't have to go and do bad things to these people in real life. I can just imagine it in my mind, and then I'm kind of satisfied, right? I go through it, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, fuck, yeah, it's not a good thing. A good thing I'm not acting on that, because then you have to deal with the consequences, and then people look at you like you're the bad guy, and who wants that? That's not what I'm trying to do. I don't want to be the bad guy or the good guy. I just want to be the guy that's there for my brothers and sisters, trying to guide them through all this fucking nonsense. Because I know I got some knowledge that I can drop on people and help them. I know I've helped many people in the past. I've had people turn their backs on me even. I don't care. I'm going to keep going. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, you're not going to discourage me from continuing my path. I'll go till I die. I'll die for this. I'm ready. I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die for all this. So I'm asking for all your fellow warriors out there, if anybody in Ottawa has balls, okay, has the courage and integrity to want to do something about all this, to march down. What I want to do essentially right now is with Trudeau and them, since they've been, you know, proven guilty in the courts of violating people's rights with this whole Emergencies Act, now is the time to march up to Parliament Hill and demand he be arrested. Him, Chrystia Freeland, the whole fucking cabinet. They all need to be arrested, and even their fucking detail right now. At this point, you put them on notice. The people protecting them now, you tell them, right now, you're aiding and abetting a fugitive. Okay, he's broken the law. He's been proven guilty. Now they're talking about appealing. Well, he can appeal from jail, just like everyone else. You know, if I get convicted of violating people's rights like they did, freezing bank accounts, causing harm, using the Ottawa Police Services and the RCMP as thugs to exercise violence on men and women that are essentially exercising their God-given rights to protest and fight against tyranny, he should be in jail with Chrystia Freeland. They should all be in jail, just like everyone else would be in jail and have to appeal from jail, from prison. But of course, it's one rule for thee and one rule for me, right? It's this kind of bullshit that I really can't fucking stand anymore, folks. It's right in your face, like injustice, lies, deceitfulness, right in our faces. Like day in, day out. Like you can't escape it. Anytime I go on YouTube, I can't escape seeing Biden, these freaking talking heads, the CTV News and stuff, like just talking nonsense and lying and perpetrating more fraud against we the people. I'm tired of it, folks. And I'm saying, when is it here in Canada? When I'm not, you know what? I don't expect from the women as much as I expect from the men more. Okay. I'm talking about the men here in Canada right now. And I'm just going to say every man that's in the fucking military and police here in Canada, I'm calling you out right now. I'm calling you a fucking coward. Every fucking one of you. Every single one of you that's fucking sporting that uniform in the military. That's worldwide, okay? I'm going to tell you straight up, worldwide, you're fucking cowards because you're allowing this shit to happen. You're none of yous have any kind of fucking decency to break out of there and lose your career in order to stand for truth. That is the definition of a fucking coward, okay? You cops out there, you swore an oath to uphold truth and justice. And what are we seeing is nothing but lies from you. You're upholding lies and deceitfulness, and you're standing by and doing nothing. And when people tell me, oh, well, there's good people, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm beyond that point. I don't believe that anymore. Okay, the worst kind of evil in this world is the apathy of good men and women, or men and women that claim to be good. That's the worst kind of evil. Okay, and that's a fact. Okay, anytime if you see someone in the street being attacked and you can do something about it and you choose not to, or even if you know maybe you may fail, well, at least you're gonna have to try. You know, at least stop it from happening, or like yell or do something, or at least say something. But to be silent and just pull out your phone and record, yeah, I've got a problem with you, big time. Yeah. Fucking world, man. I'm telling you, it's fucking crazy lately. It's like, it's wild. And like, people think things are going to get better. They're not, because people don't know who they are. You don't know who you are, it's not going to get better. See, like 5 years ago, I didn't really know who I was. I've just learned this stuff in the last 3-4 years. And I guess this whole controversy that's happened probably helped. I should be grateful in a way. But at least I've done my homework and I know who I am now in this world. Okay, I know what's going on. And now I'm trying to express it and share it with people now and try to inspire them to have the courage. Don't be afraid. One thing I'll tell you guys, don't be afraid, man. Don't be fearful. I don't get me wrong. I got fear. But I'm saying don't fear death as much as, they may, just don't fear it, because I'm telling you, it's the most beautiful experience we run away from our whole life is when we die. Okay, and I just don't want to ruin it for people. I don't want no spoiler alerts, but I'm just saying is like, guys, I'm telling you, the worst thing you can do in life is not stand against tyranny and not stand for truth. It's the worst thing, because then your afterlife is going to be affected. It's going to be bad. And I'm trying to avoid all that. I'm trying to avoid, being kind of scolded for, hey, Charles, you had all this knowledge. You did nothing. You let it all happen. The fuck? I gave you so much. You got so much to offer, and you chose to just keep it to yourself and not do anything about it. I don't respect you, son. Yeah, and why would you? Why would anyone respect anybody that allows tyranny and fucking all this level of harm, like in their children? Think of the children right now that are like got fucking injured from this shit, man, from this medical procedure that's been forced down our throats, man. Imagine. Imagine the men and women that have children that are seeing them suffer right now because they trusted these bankrupted franchises that really don't have our best interests at heart. Imagine what they're going through. Yeah. Like if I had a child and they did that to, oh fuck. Yeah. If I saw that my child is dying and he died because yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but I think a lot of people know what I'm talking about. Like there'd be a lot of fucking people right now that'd be held to account on a very extreme level. Let's put it that way. And that's why I'm like waiting for that to happen soon because it's bound to happen. It's gonna happen where it's just gonna be such a huge level of people that are gonna say, "Hey, you had the same oh, me too," and then people are gonna fucking organize, and then you're gonna start seeing people disappearing. Like I'm talking about, like people from the WEF, people like Chrystia Freeland. You think these people? There's not gonna be people that want to hurt these people when they're like not protected. Right now it's funny because here in Canada they actually had a report saying that the RCMP, like these guys are fucking clowns, man. They're trying to push through this training. Okay, I'm trying to I didn't read the article too profoundly, but what I got from it is that they're trying to reduce their training. Okay, so instead of having like 6 months of training in Regina for their basic training, all that stuff, now they cut it down to 14 weeks, and then you only do, instead of doing 2 years of like shadowing in rural areas of Canada. Now it's only 1 year. They say, folks, RCMP are already fucking ignorant as it is about the laws and their obligations and duties. Reducing is not going to help anything. But see, right now they have a hard time retaining people. They have a 10% vacancy, something like that. So all the positions are not filled. And then what was I trying to say about RCMP was, they're saying that in the last, since Chris Trudeau, now there's more need for protection for politicians because more people want to hurt them. I wonder why. Why would we want to hurt Twitchy Bird? Huh? Why would we want to hurt Twitchy Bird Freeland? Why would anybody want to do that? I mean, come on, folks. Like, they shouldn't even need protection. I just let him walk down the street with no protection, see what happens. But I like to challenge Trudeau. Remember Trudeau when he first got elected? He's going downtown all by himself, shaking people's hands and shit. It's funny, he doesn't do that anymore, does he? Doesn't he actually he's got a lot of security around him nowadays. He's not so friendly with people now, is he? You fucking coward. Why do you think? Okay. When he knows. They know they've been causing harm or injury to people, folks. You think they don't know? Of course they know, and that's why they have all this protection. But if you're doing the right thing in life, you don't need protection. The only people that would want to hurt you when you're doing the right thing is the people with power, the corporations. These big oil companies and all that stuff. If you're a politician and you're going out and you're doing the right thing, then you wouldn't need security detail. You'd have actually the people, just like Gaddafi had. Gaddafi had, he didn't have security detail. He used to go in the fucking streets and stuff. And in this thing, they get on this car with them and stuff. People love them. Why do you think? What do you think happened to Gaddafi? Well, because he was such a good guy. I'm not saying that he was perfect. Trust me. I know the history. I'm not saying that, he was an angel or nothing like that. But I actually have more respect for the guy because he actually, put his people first in many ways. If you ever look at the history of Libya, it's actually pretty interesting history, and I was actually surprised, pleasantly surprised in many ways. But yeah, it's just these people, Twitchy Bird, she gets on my fucking nerves, folks. I don't know about you, but seeing her talk and twitch, and I remember I used to have a nervous twitch. I used to I'd talk and I'd be like this all the time. And that was my twitch, but hers, she's it's fucking between her and then Trudeau's fucking stuttering. It's okay, man, this is a comedy sketch or something, but it's really not that funny because people are getting hurt, and it's I just I feel bad for them in some ways because it would suck to be them. because all this hatred and all this fucking negative energy towards them right now, and that's gonna follow them into the afterlife. They're right, like it's gonna follow them a long time. Like I feel bad for them, I really do. They sold themselves out. They sold their soul essentially. That's what they've done. And that's what selling your soul is, folks. It's like not literally selling your soul to the devil or Satan, things like that. Is when you go against your energetic properties, your true self. That's essentially you're going against truth. That's selling your soul. You're going against who you are. And then so essentially you're bringing yourself down and you're suppressing yourself, and there's dangers to that. So, and it's funny because like I got very little in life, and I don't need much, very simple. You ever watch the show Reacher? Like if you ever watch that show, I like that because Reacher, like that guy's character, like I can resonate a lot with that guy, although he is military, but like you could see that he's not like a fucking military idiot, you know what I mean? Like he's not an order fall. He's actually got a moral compass, and he uses his skills to, and it's just a show. It's a fiction, of course, but I'm just saying, it's just like I like the character because, it's just like even like his superiors in the show, like fucking tell him to stand down about this big drug bust and whatever to maintain the reputation of the fucking colonel or whatever that's coming, and so he doesn't want to have any kind of bad things happening under his command that would take away his chance of being promoted to whatever the fuck rank he wanted. So his superiors stops him and his team from, but then they say, fuck it, we're going to do it anyways. And then they get, disbanded. Their whole crew gets like, pretty much disbanded. It's shut down, whatever, because they did it, but they did the right thing. They stopped these freaking criminals from, doing bad things, which their obligation was to stop it. Doesn't matter if, that's the thing, folks, is that truth is the truth. When there's an injury, there's harm or crime, the shit of, oh, well, we're not going to do it because we don't want, no. Sorry, that's just that colonel, that fucking general, whatever. He's a piece of shit, and he's actually an enemy of the people of the United States when you do that, because essentially his obligation as being in the military, they all have an obligation to the Constitution, which is all based on natural law, which is essentially to respect and recognize human rights and stuff, and to stop fucking crime from happening. That's what it is. It's all about that. So, but yeah, it's just funny to see. That show was actually pretty cool. If you guys have got a chance there, it's on Prime. I don't really like to watch movies and stuff, but when I take a break, it's fun to do. It's fun to like kind of change your thoughts, right? So I think I'm gonna end this. Whoa, fuck! I didn't want to do this for an hour and 22 minutes. Damn, that's a long time. So yeah, I just want to do the stream to kind of talk about these things and to let you know that I'm still here. I'm still trying to get things going. I'm not getting any backup here in Ottawa. I know I've reached out to some people from the truckers convoy. To be honest, like, I'm disappointed in a lot of the people from the truckers convoy, and I appreciate them coming down, but like, it's like, where are they now? Where are all those people? Like right now, these people, what's happening to Tamara and Byron, the Coots 4, what was that? All those truckers right now should be protesting this. They should be just as adamant as when they came down in Ottawa, like that. Because now they're supposed to be the leader, and they didn't do anything wrong. And if you stand by and you think that they're the right to do what they did, which they did, then where's the support? I went in front of the courthouse when it was like, fuck, you saw like maybe 20 people that were there consistently. I went to check it out to see what it's all about, but like I see no one's supporting. And also, I don't like to go there in front of the courthouse because it represents fraud, and it's like I know what's going on in there. It's disgusting. It's like I don't know, man. It's just I know people are getting hurt badly from these people. I don't want to be around negative energy. I just try to stay away from it. But I think people really need. It's not about protest. It's more about your strong support and just coming and saying, calling them out, and just say, hey guys. Even like putting pressure on the Crown attorneys that are bringing these charges against them, like sending them letters, say, hey, like you need to withdraw, you need to stop. Okay, you're committing fraud. This is bullshit. You have nothing. Essentially, you have an obligation to not proceed against them because now you're violating their rights. Okay, and that's the thing is that they're using lawfare, folks. And then see what's happening. They keep using. They'll appeal it, so you'll get acquitted, and then they appeal, and they bring it to the ringer again. That's not right, folks. It's not right. And, people need to stand up, like, meaning, like, like, I don't, like I said, I don't really like violence. I don't believe in that. But when people are pushing violence on you and threatening you, then you have an obligation to stand and, like, get people to stand against these fucking people. And I'm sure if you stand firm, armed, saying, hey, I'm serious. I'm ready to die for what I believe here today. And if you continue, any constable that comes and issues this arrest against me, this unlawful arrest, well, you can end up either losing your life or taking my life, but you're going to have to live with that. And when you put that down pretty straight up like that, and you have a lot of people to be by your side, I'm pretty sure a lot of police, all of a sudden, they'll say, fuck, you know what, man? Like, yeah, I don't want to be fucking doing this shit, man. I don't want to be like, yeah, I don't want to know. I don't think this is right, and I'm not going to do it. And it just takes maybe one or two brave ones in there to just kind of lead the way. You ever see those movies when you see like all people standing there, and all of a sudden one person out of the whole group decides to have the courage to stand up, and then, then next thing you know, you see another guy and then another guy, whatever. Well, that's what needs to happen, folks. I think that could really, really happen. If, you just need to inspire these people and also show, hey, look, I want peace. I want nothing but peace. I don't want this one. I don't want this to go, but I will. Okay, I will stand, and I'm standing in truth here. And if you go against me, and you let them know the consequence. Like me, this is the way it is, man. It's like you trespass against me in this life. Trust me. If I can wait for you in the afterlife to have justice, I will. I fucking will. And I'm sure it's the case. I'm sure a lot of people in the past that, went through life were trespassed against by many people from governments, and they died. And, then they were told, it's like, yeah, you can stick around a bit, wait till they fucking die. And then, we'll fix them for you. We'll put them in their place. And I'm sure there's something there, folks. There's got to be. If there isn't, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm pretty sure, because I know what's in my heart, and I know I come from the Almighty Creator, and you all come from the Almighty Creator. It's all in our hearts. We all want that kind of justice. I'm sure that we want the people that trespass against us to be held to account, and not because we want revenge or nothing like that. It's more about having closure for our conscience to continue to be able to move on and know that, hey, there's consequences, that these people don't get away with it. They never do. And so you can move on. If, let's say, you die and you're conscious and you know that these people, it's like, how are you going to be able to move on in life and know, like, well, fuck, what am I doing here? If then the next time I go around, I guess I can go around raping and hurting people and whatever, doing all these bad things, and there's no consequences. Yeah, I'm not okay with that reality. I'm sorry. Like, for me, myself, I'm ready to accept, I'm ready to face the consequences of my actions in my life, the things that I haven't held myself to account for. And I work every day to hold myself to account and, to reach out to anybody, that any man or woman that I've trespassed against, which I haven't. But I mean, if they bring evidence, I will definitely want to, own up to it and account for it and do the right thing, because I want to clear my conscience. I want to move on. I can't move on if I have my conscience affected, saying, "Oh fuck, I hurt that person, and now fuck yeah." It's not funny. I mean, when you feel obligated, like, to me, like, I don't know, man. Like, if even like when I'm not the cause of a problem, I feel obligated to offer solutions to my fellow man or woman. Like to my brothers and sisters, to my family. I feel an obligation. If I can help them, even though I'm not the cause of the problem, I feel an obligation to want to at least reach out and help. That's just me. So, like, let's say I do hurt someone, then of course I'm going to feel even more obligated, right? And that's how we should feel, right? Well, afternoon, RAGG. Okay, I didn't read. Okay, sorry, man. I'm just like so into this. You agree? Thanks. Sending whatever support your way in the ether, my friend. Thank you, GJ. Appreciate that. From Florida. Oh, nice. You're lucky. You get the nice weather. We got the shitty fucking weather up here, man. Afternoon, Black Sheep Research. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Oh my God, I love your stuff, man. Guys, if you have a chance, I'm telling you, Black Sheep Researcher, What the Flock TV, and Thinking Man. Those are his 3 channels. Guys, you got to check this guy out. Like, the stuff that the research he does. I addicted. Every night I listen to Paul, which is a Black Sheep Researcher. I listen to his videos, and Sean Ross mostly. And then I, about law and stuff like that. But yeah, like, his stuff is like super, super interesting. And it's actually going to help you understand a lot. Okay. And he's so humble that he actually, like, he's talking about like, well, this is just my opinion, but no, like, he's on the money about stuff. Okay. And this is like, I know so much about what he's talking about that, like, I can confirm that, yeah, he's on the right path. And I wish him all the best. And yeah, this guy's awesome. Definitely check him out. Here, actually, I'm gonna just put his channel right here in in the chat. And it pisses me off because YouTube, every time I type in, they it's like one of my most visited channels. And it never just appears, like, you know, it just, I have to type it in all the way, all the time. So here, I'm going to copy that. And yeah, just check this guy out. I'm telling you, folks, like, man, I appreciate you so much, Paul, man. I love you, bro. Just, you know, like, keep it up, man. Don't stop ever, please. And, you know, your research is helping a lot. Trust me. You're like, you're a beacon of light in this world, man. And I appreciate all you like that, you know, come and listen to me and listen to guys like Paul and, like, you know, want to do and change the world for the best and listen to people that have those intentions. Like, that's amazing that you have enough integrity and you think enough of yourself to actually, you know, do it, right? So, well, hey, no worries, man. It's my pleasure, man. I appreciate you. Dude, it's 80 degrees here today. So you're talking about Fahrenheit. So, wow, that's pretty hot. So, wow, that's hot. That's like, I don't know. You guys have humidity? Or is it more dry? I've been to Florida, like, when I was 4 years old. So, like, that's like fucking 30 years ago. Wow. But, yeah. No. Well, I mean, hey, we all have our part, brother. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, dude, like, I'm trying to get this channel, like the editing that you do and stuff. I don't have any experience doing video editing. I really don't have much patience when it comes to computers, folks. Not even like a PlayStation, too. Like, I get frustrated. Fuck, it's crazy. Like, technology. Don't get me wrong, I can get around, but I don't know. I just, like, my human attention is elsewhere, focused on other things, and then when I try to learn that, which is, like, I find it's tedious and monotonous kind of work. I can do, like, I'll work maybe 30 minutes of trying to get going and stuff, and then all of a sudden I'm just frustrated and, like, because I really don't really know what I'm doing with the editing and stuff, and I tried to get some friends to help me, and yeah, you can't do it long distance. I tried with the friend Cyril, but it wasn't working out. Also, you know, I love Cyril. He's a good guy. If you ever want to check him out, I don't know if he's got he had a YouTube channel called Rise in the Falls. He was auditing here in Smiths Falls, and anyways, he got fucked with by the police, OPP, and the Crowns. They charged him. They essentially for filming in public, which he had the right, and they charged him for it. You got a lawyer who paid him $10,000 to have to plead guilty to something they shouldn't be guilty of. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. I just up to, okay, good stuff. Good to see you, Paul. Yes, okay, yeah, because yeah, like, I can't wait for the spring to come because like last summer I didn't really get much of a good summer. I actually felt ill all the month of July. I was like not feeling well. I was just tired all the time. I slept for the most part. I'd wake up, stay up for like 3-4 hours, go to sleep for an hour, stay up for maybe a couple of hours, go to sleep for 2-3 hours. This was my routine for like a month, pretty much, like just tired, just fucking tired. Like, I think I had to do more with my human attention. Like, my conscience was like weighed down so much that my body was just feeling it. It's like, you know, where your mind goes, the body goes, right? So if you're feeling down and you're depressed and you're feeling aggravated and, like, you know, especially with everything that's been happening, especially in Ottawa, guys, I'm telling you, like, it's I live right across from Quebec too, so like the abuse I went through this whole fraud that we went through in the last 3 years was quite the nightmare, and took a lot of work for me to not lose my shit. Okay, I'm just being straight up, and I'm honest with people, folks. You know, like, you know, people want to try to use things against me. Sometimes, like, I say things to people, like, you know, I'll tell people, like, yo, man, like, that cop that did that, he deserves to, you know. And then people, oh, you shouldn't say this. No, like, they need to fucking hear it, like, because that's how I feel inside, and that's how people should naturally feel inside when they see a police officer, a constable that is supposed to recognize and protect our rights, go around acting like the fucking thug that he's supposed to fight against. It's fucking, like, it's an assault. It's a psychological assault, folks. When you see an injustice happen to a fellow man, it's an injustice that happens to us because we go through it. When you have empathy, okay, If you don't, people that have no empathy, folks that can't feel, can't understand when you say those things. But when you have empathy, when you see someone else get hurt, when you see an animal suffer, things like that, you feel their pain. That's what empathy is that you can empathize and relate to their suffering, and then you know that it's wrong, and then you want to be able to do something about it, and you hope and wish for them to be able to have justice for the injustice that happened to them, to the trespass, right? That's what empathy is, folks, and that's the fucking problem. Is most people can't express empathy these days. The apathy in this world is crazy. Like, I'm telling you, man, I see apathy everywhere as I go, and it's ugly, man, and it's depressing. It's depressing, fucking depressing. On to shit, my oh yeah, hey, fuck. Yeah, no, sleep patterns. It's very important to have your sleep, folks. You know, it's very, very important. Happy to catch alive. It's been a bit. Grateful you're still here, Tiffany Harrington. Well, thank you. Appreciate it, Tiffany. Like I said, like I know, like sometimes I've been like before the new year, like I was trying to like get back into things and whatever, and I just fuck, man, like yeah, like my health is like I'm 40. I'm gonna be 44 in March. I know a lot of people say I don't look it, but I feel it sometimes. Okay, I feel like I could be 50 some years old, even 60 some days. But then most times, like when I work out, I do martial arts. Like whenever I feel good, I do those things. Like I'll say like 60% of the time I'm actually feeling pretty good, but then there's like a 40% that it's kind of like it's fucking yeah, it's not fun, man. And I've actually my whole life I dealt with depression. Like growing up, I've always had depressive feelings, and like it started like when I came out of the penitentiary when I was like 20, 21 years old. That's when I started like having these like moments of like every year I'd work like 8 months to maybe a year. I'd work a job and then get laid off because I was like living in the country. So a lot of times when you live in the country in Canada, a lot of jobs you work at they're seasonal, so you get laid off in the winter. So it was a routine for like every year pretty much. I'd find work and then get laid off because like I was always new to the job, and so I get laid off, and then for I stay laid off for the whole time. Like the whole time I was on unemployment, I'd milk it to the last because I was depressed. And then for me to get back to want to work and stuff would take a lot. So the spring would kick in, and then I'd go look for work, start a new job, work there, go through the bullshit of fucking dealing with fucking abuse from work and like not respecting people and all that kind of, because it's everywhere. In any corporation you're going to work, they look at you like numbers. And I always felt that it was bullshit, and I always said something, and because I was the most vocal guy and expressive, I was always the one looked at as the thorn and accused of being the thorn. But how am I the thorn when I'm telling you that you're the thorn, and you're calling me the thorn because I'm telling you you're the thorn because you put the thorn in my eye? But I'm the thorn because I'm saying that you put the thorn in my eye, so I'm the thorn, and everybody else is going to look at me like I'm the thorn. No, okay? And that's fucking bullshit to go through that. I went through that all my fucking life, okay? Like, because I stand for truth, okay? My mom always stood for truth, and she got abused for it, okay? Her whole life, okay? She was my mother's been a woman of principles of like, hey, always be kind, always be of service to people, be there for people. Even if it's your last $5 in your pocket, my mom would fucking give it to you if you needed it. That's my mother, and she always stood for truth and doing the right thing and being fair in life. And because of it, she got abused and attacked and ostracized, and essentially the family had problems with her because she's not one to take bullshit. And she's the second oldest in the family, and she essentially was the one, like the second mother, essentially. So she raised them because my grandma too. But I mean, like, when you're 11 kids, hey, Paul, remember I told you about 11? My grandfather was a janitor. He had 11 kids. He died on April 11th. And that's, my ex-girlfriend, my fiance, I was engaged to. So like we're talking about 11, which is essentially Janus, the many-faced god, and all that kind of stuff. My ex-fiance, her name is Saint Charles Lebois. which if you put it Charles, which her last name is Charles, which is my name, Charles, in the middle, and her first name is Jacinthe, which is Jason, one of the pillars, and Bois, which is Bois, which is Boaz. So it's just funny. And when I lived in Plantagenet, which is essentially King John of Plantagenet, which is the one that wrote the Constitution, the Magna Carta, all that kind of stuff, whatever. Well, he's not the right one. He's signed. Let's put it that way. Well, I lived in Plantagenet, which is John the Plantagenet. If you ever do research on John the Plantagenet, you'll see the 11 and all the dates and stuff add up to 11, like Paul expresses there, the thinking man or black sheep researcher. Look that up. So it's just all these things related to me. It's funny because her father was RCMP. He was an RCMP guy, and I used to train also in martial arts, and he was RCMP as well. So I was exposed to a lot of stuff about the law. It's just weird. Like when I came out of the penitentiary, that's where I went to live, was in Plantagenet, and my address was 6622, which is, you add it all up together, it's like 6 and like, well, 6. It's like pretty much 88 there. So 6 + 2, so 88. But anyways, it's just on Highway 17, which is 1 + 7 is 8. So 888, the 888, which I keep talking about it, with Switzerland, which is CH, which is 3 and 8, which my name Charles starts with CH 38, and then all my names end with S, which is 19. So it's all these relations. I'm like, fuck, there's something about me that I came here. There's something I got to do here, and there's a reason why I'm so obsessed with freaking Black Sheep Researcher and What the Flock TV, because all these things are symbolic, personal to me. And I'm maybe it's just coincidence or whatever, right? It could be, but I'm just saying all these things symbolically. And Jacinthe, which was my ex-fiance, I still love her to this day. Like, I'm not obsessed with her. I love her. She was, a beautiful woman. She's still alive. I'm just saying, like, she's a beautiful woman. Like, Capricorn, January. That's January 2nd was her birthday, and essentially, she was just a beautiful little thing that just came into my life, and I'm super, super grateful. And she's inspired me in so many ways, and so still to this day, which is like almost 17 years ago since we're not together, like I still think about her, still hope that she's doing all right. But it's just all these things symbolic to me that just stick with me, and it's just like, wow, like I know I'm here for a reason. Just my name, Charles Alexis, means strong, free, one-man army, God of love, defender of mankind and the law. Like, fuck, it just defines me so well. I find that my intentions, how I feel, like, like just when I found that out, I was like, wow, as if my mother gave me this name. She really, whether she knew it or not, she had great fucking intentions for me, I guess. 46 years young, nice. I'm gonna be 44 in February, hell of the year for sure. But I'm getting back into it. Law. Seeing more and more people having success in the courts. Yeah, well, of course, because more people are doing it, right? And it's eventually it's they have no choice. Like, it's going to become a more common practice here in Canada. Actually, if you ever look up the stat, I can't remember what it was, but it's saying like it's like a big percentage of people are representing themselves in court, or they say represent, but like when you go to court, you never represent yourself. You don't represent yourself. You present yourself, or you go and you just defend yourself against their fucking bullshit, right? That's all you're doing when you go to court. When you get a lawyer, you're just getting someone to essentially speak for you, and then you're just proving that you're incompetent. That's all you're saying in front of the courts. When you look at you, that's how they look at you. If you can't speak for yourself and defend yourself, your truth, the truth of what it is, then why and that's the thing about law. It shouldn't be this complicated, folks. It's not. Law is not complicated. They make it look. They call it a priestcraft. They make it look complicated, so they want you to feel like, intimidated, that you don't do it yourself. So you pay them big money for them to do it for you. But if you really look into it, you see it's simple. It's very simple, and the best way to simplify the law is just learn it symbolically. And What the Flock TV is fucking awesome to understand how. Because the symbols that he's sharing in these videos, it's all like under that veil, essentially, of the Janus, the many-faced God. That's what they worship. The Freemasons, the Crown, all these secret societies, the aristocrat, that's what they're under. The Pope, that's what they worship. Like, it's there. It's all there for you. It's the symbols. It's all the evidence. It's not opinion, folks. Okay, it's facts. You just, it's just there. It's symbolic. It's like when you look at a picture and you see the sun, the moon, and a man and a woman. There's no misinterpretation there. You can't. How can you? It's like it's there. Afraid. Oh no, it's not a moon. It's not a sun. It's not a man. It's not a woman. It's a dog. It's two dogs, and it's I don't know. It's clouds. No, it's simple. You can see it's simple. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like people will like try to argue things, and it's like, guys, like, stop. It's right in your face. It's right in your face. People see truth, they accept it. Some people, they see truth, they run from it, they get scared, they get irate, they get stupid, they get violent. And that's when you know they're living a lie. Okay? And that's why when you deal with judges and they get upset because you're asking simple questions and you're questioning their authority, right? And the only authority, okay, remember, folks, authority, okay, if you ask anybody that's in law enforcement, where does authority come from? And they answer anything else but truth, they don't know where authority comes from, because authority comes from truth. That's it. That's all. No one has authority over another man or woman. No judge, no police officer, as much as they may use violence to enforce their belief, they have no authority. Okay? They never had it. Okay? The only time you have authority is when you stand in truth. And if you're not standing in truth, then you have no authority. You have no authority. Absolutely none. None of yourself and none of the others. So if you're living a lie, you're suppressing the truth. You can't have authority, and no one's gonna believe you. No one's gonna fucking give you credibility. No one's gonna, unless you're a tyrant and you have people that are weak that are around you and don't say anything. Then of course you're probably gonna. But I'm saying that this, when it comes down to it, truth is the only authority, folks. Okay, and that's it. That's how it is. So anytime when you know this, it's very powerful, folks. It's powerful. I'm telling you, man. Like I went through it myself. Like when I went to court, I wish I was like a lot better when I did go through it, because last year when I was like dealing with these people, I was not in the best mindset. I was feeling disappointed that I had no support from family. Like I had my mom, I had my cousin, and that's about it. My uncle Andre, he doesn't even speak to me nowadays. It's been almost since last summer. But yeah, like he came one time, and then the other times I asked him, no one fucking showed. And then I was supposed to go to trial, which is funny. Hey, Paul, if you're still in the chat, my trial date was March 29th, which is the 88th day of the year. But then you have 29, which is 2 + 9 is 11. So it's just, again, these things, man, I was just, well, fuck, what are the odds, right? And I just found What the Flock TV last year. I just fall upon his research, and boom, I was like, wow. I was like, all these, I was like, wow, like, fuck, this guy's blowing my mind here, man. It's like fucking wild. So yeah, my trial date was March 29th. And it's funny because March 29th is also a very symbolic date for the aristocrats, for the pharaonic people. If you do some research into look up Shaking My Head Productions, they're actually pretty good. A little too religious for my taste with the Christian stuff, like believing in Jesus, a little too hard. It's like funny to see people that are like expressing so much sin, but still get caught up in another lie. It's wild, but hey, I respect them anyways. I got nothing but love for that. It's like I said, if I'm critical of you, doesn't mean I hate you, or I'm critical of, I just feel that you're wrong about something, and I'm just pointing it out. Like I want someone to be with me. If I'm wrong about something, please tell me. Okay, don't be afraid. And that's why I tell my friends and family. I always told them that. And it's funny, growing up, I always said to people, I used to tell, like, if you got a problem with me, tell me. Okay, don't fucking be passive and build it all up and then blow up on me one day. Where let me know, because I will tell you immediately. And that's how you build good, strong relationships, folks. You may have a little bit of an argument, a confrontation, but you'll get over it. You'll hug each other and you move on. You'll actually have a better, stronger relationship because of it. My best relationships, my strongest relationships, like my mom, holy fuck, like my mom is like, Superman. Like, I look at my mom, like I don't praise her, but I do praise her. But I mean, like, I look up to her like my hero, But hey, man, the arguments we've had, holy fuck, if you ever saw us go at it, guys, you'd be like, whoa, what the fuck is going on here? But we, We hug each other. I love you, Mom. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was wrong. She's not as good as admitting her wrongs as much as I am, but hey, that's what mothers are, I guess. They don't want to. They're the authority. Come on now. Yeah, I'm the mother. I'm not wrong. Come on now. But yeah, it's just like I want people to tell me, because you know what? I don't want to live in ignorance. I don't want to be setting up a life where it's based on lies, and then my foundation is going to crumble, and then later I'll be like, well, dude, you should well, you knew. When you didn't tell me, you made me do all this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's actually an insult to not be there for your friends and your family and let them know when they're wrong. It's fucking insulting. I think it's actually disrespectful, more disrespectful to do that than to actually have the courage to offend, really, because that's what it is. Like, a lot of times that we're afraid to have a confrontation because we don't have the courage that we know that they're going to be offended. Of course, people sometimes, when you criticize them, or you kind of express that they're doing something that you see as wrong, people get defensive, and of course, it may cause a bit of an offense. But if you can accept that it's only natural that we get defensive and we could get a little offended, but know that maybe that person eventually will calm down and we can get over it. That's what you got to do, and that's the problem, right? There's the problem in our world right now. Look, what's happening in Canada. Well, look at Trudeau and Freeland. Well, all the people around them, they're not there to tell them. They're not telling them you're wrong, and they're not correcting. They're not their friends. They're afraid of them. That's the thing. These people are so fearful of being not part of the group anymore, because they're going to be. It's like, why would we want to be part of a group that's ugly like they are, that they're causing harm to people, that are going around lying like they do? Like, why would you want to be associated with that? You don't think much of yourself if that's the case. I'm just saying, and that's a fact. So I think enough of myself, and I know a lot of people out there think enough of themselves to fucking say something, and that's important, folks. And I think that's a great quality to have. As much as people like to make me feel like it's not cool, I'm sorry. I think it's funny. The respect I get from people a lot of times, like, a lot of people tell me, like, I appreciate you, man, because you fucking say it, man. You have the courage to say it. You don't have the fear of not saying it. Like, when you see something wrong, you stand up and you're polite about it. You try to reach out like a brother. You're not an asshole. And despite the fact that you are so freaking cool and kind about it, you still get this fucking. I still get people like, hey, like, with just example with the police, man. Like, I'm super respectful with them, even when they get stupid. I try to maintain, and I still get. It's like almost like it's worse. Like, it insults them even more, the fact that I'm actually kind about it. It's weird. And that's when you know people are lost. They're truly lost when they feel attacked, and they feel that they have to respond with threats and violence towards someone that is kindly expressing how what they're doing is wrong, and I have the evidence to show that what they're doing is wrong. There's something wrong with those people. I feel bad for them. I really do. I pray for them. I wish them all the best, really. Because I really hope that they get out of that mindset, and that they can, really live on and be good in life, right? So, yes, we must be able to express ourselves and our opinions to loved ones and not be exactly like, why, like, especially when you're not being, your intent is not like, because a lot of times people will, like, when you see people like talk shit about other people behind their back, and then like they're being kind of like, catty. That I can understand how people can, which like, you can talk about people when they're not there, but always talk about them in the good light. Meaning, like, yeah, if you're critical of them, but always show like, hey, look, I'm gonna talk about this person. I care about them a lot, and why I'm saying this is not because I'm trying to bring them down. I'm not trying to, put rumors on that. Just, but when you do this, it affects me in this way, and I think it's not right, and I think he needs to work on that and whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you start, talking about people, and then you're like, bringing them down and making fun of them, and then just, like that's, and I can understand why some people don't like to be criticized, because some people don't have the best approach, when it comes to, expressing themselves. The approach just sucks. It's just not a good approach, right? So, and that's why they don't get good results. And that's what I've been working on for a long time, trying to work on my craft to, like, try to, like, have a good approach, despite the fact that sometimes people can really upset me. and really rubbed me the wrong way in a sense where I'm like inside, I'm like, oh man, but I compose myself and I'm like, okay, child, it's okay. Like I'm sure the intention is not there to cause you harm, and if it is, well, right now it's just an assumption. You have no evidence for that, so let's not go there, and let's be rational about that, and let's reach out and be courteous and kind about the situation, and hopefully we can resolve the controversy by exchanging words instead of exchanging fists, you know? Because trust me, I'm a good fighter. I can fuck people up, but I don't want to. I don't like it. Never liked it. Don't like fighting. Don't. Every time I got into fights, I always felt bad, even though I was justified in defending myself. I always felt bad, and I always reached out and say, "Bud, I'm sorry. Didn't want to fucking do whatever I did or whatever. Let's move on. Let's fucking be best friends now. That's and that's how you should be. It's like when you have things that happen, like it's like even Constable Benjamin, man, like like the shit that he's done and like using the law and like the lies that he's done and all, like despite all that, I still maintain love and respect and wish him all the best. But at the same time, I'm critical of him. And I'm still kind of like, yeah, dude, like you're a fucker, like you're a piece of shit for what you did, and you need to hear it. But I don't want, as much as sometimes I've thought of like, bad things to happen to him, whatever. I don't wish it upon him. I don't, just those are thoughts. Those are feelings that go through me when you go through shit. When I see videos of police fucking with people, I relive those things. It's only natural. Like when I see police auditing videos and I see police acting the way they do, it's ugly, folks. I'm telling you, man, when I see these cops act, and my dad was a constable, my grandfather was a constable, and my dad wasn't in the police very long. I think it was 5 years. He got out of it because it's toxic. It's a very toxic place. And if he said it all the time. So you want to see the most insecure people? Police. Okay? The police are one of the most insecure people in the world. Okay? And the most managed people are police and military, folks. So explain to me, how is it that men and women that become police constables that really don't have any kind of appreciation for their own rights and freedoms, right? They don't think much of themselves because they're given the mantle. They're managed to the max. They have really no freedoms, no rights. How is it that people like that are supposed to be able to recognize and protect your rights? It's an oxymoron, folks. It's just like police. The whole ideal behind it is actually an oxy-fucking-moron. Okay, folks? It's actually, it's like, and it's funny because for me to get here is like to this conclusion is like, yeah, it took me years because I've been trying to look at them in a good light, and try to say, oh, no, it's just, but the fact is that no, these people are the most managed people. They have no appreciation for rights and freedoms because they're managed. They can't associate with whoever they want. They can't express their opinions. There's so much things they can't do, even in their own private life, because they're managed by the crown, like hard, like they're little minions. They're like in the military, pretty much. You've given up on that. So how is it that these people are supposed to be able to recognize and protect the very things they have no appreciation for? They have no understanding what that is. They have no true understanding of it. And they never even read the fucking constitutions they swore an oath to. I'm pretty sure if you ask, I don't know, man, like, and that's what I was going to do when I was going to go to trial. Oh, fuck. I wish I did go to trial in some way because I would have had so much fun just with the depositions, okay, of like deposing these fucking cops. Okay, I would have like asked questions where I know they wouldn't have been able to answer, and I would have just been able to discredit them, say, well, listen, judge, he doesn't even understand his obligations and duties to the National Covenant. He doesn't understand who he is and all of this, and therefore he acted out of turn. He actually, he swore an oath and signed a contract on bad faith. This is the evidence right now. It's on record. I actually proven in the court of law that your constables have no idea of the Constitution they swore an oath to. Therefore, they all swore an oath and signed on bad faith, which is essentially fraud. Imagine. Fuck. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, guys. Like, even like the questions I would have put to these people, like it would have really embarrassed them. And see, when I went in front of the last judge, which really wasn't in court, I was on video. Because see, that's what they do. Eh? My trial was on. It's supposed to be on the Monday, so March 29th. And then on a Friday, or I think it was a Thursday or Friday, I get an email. And a good thing I checked my email. because I get this like email, and I don't really check my emails daily. I don't I maybe every 3-4 days, or even sometimes I won't even look at it for like a week or so. And I actually just looked at it as, oh wow, they actually sent me an email and they're saying, oh, I had to like go on a Zoom call because something came up or whatever. I'm trying to remember what it was, but anyways, like I had to go on the Zoom call to like, and I like really last minute like that. I had to go out of town. Like I was actually like going out. And I said, well, look, I gotta leave. Like I'm like, oh no, it's just gonna be on the phone. You don't have to show up, just blah blah blah. But it's like still, guys, like you don't get to fucking like just spring something on someone and think that they have an obligation to go and show up. Like see that the little respect they have for people's time just goes to show you how these people are not to be respected. Because see, if you're late in court and if they're all that kind of stuff, they'll fucking hold you to account. Because when you go to court, it's all about time. And what is time? Put it backwards. It's emit. So you're emitting energy in this moment. And that's what your time. And you only have so much energy to emit while you live on this planet. You have an expiration date, and they know that. And that's what they're trying to do, extort as much time from you to get what comes with your time, your human attention, and your energy. And see, they use it, and then they have no respect for it, but yet you have to respect the court's time, which is a fiction. But you, the living, breathing man, the actual reality, the friction, well, your time is not as important as the time of the fiction of their imagination, what they believe, which is not real. It only has power because they believe it is. It has they sense that they'll impose that on you. You see the psychological mind fuck. You see how bad a shape this world is right now. Like when you look at it that way, when you understand these fundamental truths of like what the reality is and who you are and how important it is to really maintain your human attention and know about your time and your energy and all that kind of stuff and how to protect it from these fucking clowns. You see how important it is and see how far gone we are when most of us don't even understand this. And we all fucking knew this shit, man. There was a time you think this planet, this world that we live in doesn't have the wisdom. We had it. There was a time where we all knew this. It was inherent. It was it was part of our traditions. It was ingrained, and there was no writing as much as there was oral traditions. Okay, it was always orally. The more you speak truth, the more you become accustomed to it, and the more you will uphold it and protect it and be the truth. But if you just write it down, you're not going to get the same effect, folks. And if you ever listen to Black Sheep Researcher, he talks about that, like even like not cursing and things like that, which I have a problem with. And I'm grateful to you, Paul, because you know what? I have to work on that because I curse a lot. So like if you ever see me sometime when I see these videos and like, fuck you, I let it out. I'm telling, hey man, like I'm like I'm freaking out inside. I have to like kind of have an outlet. So if I don't do that, then I'll work out. I'll grab my weights and start fucking, it's like So, but yeah, you have to speak truth, and that's the thing about our oral traditions need to come back, and that's why when you look in Canada, when you look at the indigenous people, and I'm talking like I shouldn't say indigenous, I should say just native people of the lands, all worldwide. Doesn't matter. Like if you look in Europe. They lived the same way as we did the natives in Canada and North America. They lived in huts and, they had the tribal ways, the tattoos and the Mohawks and shit like that. They had these traditions of, you'd sit around the campfire, you'd sit, as a community, and then you would talk about these things and express them and then make sure that these values maintain themselves through the generations. We lost that. You look at your family, ask yourself, who in your family has continued traditions from like, I don't know, 300 years, just let's say 100 years. In my family, I mean, my family, we were 11, like my grandma and grandpa had 11 kids. So I had 10 uncles and aunts pretty much, like, I had six uncles and 4 aunts. And I didn't have any traditions that they passed on to me, like, about values and things like that. Like, not really. But if you look, there was time when that shit was like a fucking like a family thing. Like you had families and things that continue these traditions and things like that orally. It was done orally. It was a thing like it's like, you know, like songs and things like that. That's what songs were all about too. Is essentially to continue these understandings, these truths through these songs, through these hymns, to be able, and also by expressing it through the sound, right, or your voice, your vibration, and expressing it through the universe, and in showing gratitude, which is the biggest thing that we're missing these days, is gratitude. To show gratitude to the Almighty Creator, to the land, air, and water, to the people around us, to show gratitude daily, as much as you can, to say, hey, I am grateful. I'm truly, truly grateful. When I drink water, every time I pour a glass of water, this is what I do. I take my water and I go, thank you, water. I'm truly, truly grateful. Thank you so much for everything that you do for us. I thank you, the Almighty Creator, and all the ancestors has made this world a better place. Thank you so much. It has memory. This is consciousness, folks. Okay? This is what needs to be done nowadays. Look at the way we treat water. We're actually shitting on God, consciousness. That's why we're fucked, folks. If we keep treating the land, air, and water the way we do, letting corporations and the Crown Corporation allow these bankrupted franchises to continue to pervert, subvert, and convert the law to their will, we're going to have problems. We're going to keep having this shit. And if we keep believing in, voting for, right versus left and, Democrat versus Republican and liberal versus conservative and all that, none of these people have solutions to our problems, folks. None of them. Not one fucking one of them. I'm telling you. Anybody that tells me that they believe in Poiliev or, any of it, you're lost, bud. Sorry. No solutions there. The solution, it's in your soul. That's why it's called solutions. And the light of the soleil, the solar, and that's why we have a solar plexus. So the solutions are in your soul. It's inside of you. You have to find out who you are in all of this and express it. Know it and express it. That's what I've been doing. That's why I do these videos, to give me that practice. And I share it with you guys. And I hope I don't fucking sound like a little, I don't know. I try to be as reasonable and sound as coherent as possible. But sometimes I hope I'm not just wandering off in things or whatever. But that's what we have to do. We have to find the solutions, and the solutions are within us. And we got to stop giving power to these people that clearly don't have any solutions to offer. They don't know who they are. They don't know who they are. And if anyone, how are you going to get knowledge or any kind of greatness from anybody that's lost and not even know who they are? It's just not going to, you can, but it's just not going to be as effective. Let's put it that way. So, a lot of guys I listen to, like Santos Bonacci, if you ever have a chance to check that guy out, I know lately he's been kind of on this, a lot of people think he's crazy, okay? And I can understand why, but the guy's fed up. He's at the point, he's been at this longer than I have, longer than most people in the world. He's been doing this research for a long fucking time, putting out the video. He's got videos after videos of research and showing these truths that, holy shit, these are important. And right now he's at the point, because he knows the truth, that a lot of these elites, these people that are in charge, that they're bad people. They're hurting children, they're hurting a lot of people. And at this point, he's pissed. He's just calling him out. He's he's being kind of but I understand where he comes from. And I think, what, if you're not pissed off like he is, and like I am inside at this point, you're not paying attention. I'm sorry. And you just, I'm sorry. But anybody at this point in life that doesn't see that there's a problem in the world, I have a lot of questions, and I really don't have much respect for those people, because you see a lot of people are like that, man. As long as they're okay, that they're not suffering, and that them and their family is good, and that they see that you're suffering, but they'll actually act like they'll deny it. They'll deny your suffering. Say, I don't know what you're talking about. You're exaggerating things, and you're just a conspiracy theorist, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, those people, man, I'm glad I'm not you. I'm fucking super happy I'm not you. I feel sorry for those people. Because those who deny reality and the suffering of others, man, there's something wrong with those people. It's like I've seen a lot of that shit happen, man, where they don't want to admit that people are suffering in the world and that they're part of it. When I used to tell people, when you get a mortgage, That's one of the biggest social injustices you can do is get a mortgage. So anybody that shits on people on welfare, if you got a mortgage, you have nothing to say. You shouldn't be talking shit about people on welfare. You should be quiet. Because if you have a mortgage or credit card debt, things like that, you're more of a welfare recipient than the person that's on social assistance. Trust me. Okay, you're using money that's not yours. You're borrowing it at interest, and then what you're doing is when you're borrowing that money because it's going to incur interest, now you're creating inflation, which now the guys like me that essentially believes in saving his money, putting it aside, and then eventually waiting until eventually I can actually buy it fully and I own it. Well, now you're diminishing my purchasing power. So if I save for 2 years, but more people keep engaging in this inflationary fucking process of getting mortgages and credit cards debts and all that kind of stuff and getting indebted to these banks that are committing fraud against us, well, they're in fact causing me and those who are actually saving their money an injustice, a grave injustice, because you're diminishing our purchasing power. And we're doing it right. We're being patient and we're doing it the right way, but you're the one cutting in line and then you're causing us the problem. That's the banking, folks. Like anybody that you know that works for the bank, you should let them know. You let them know that you're working for one of the worst criminal organizations in the world is the banking cartel. Okay, that's a fact. All the human trafficking in the world, all the drug trafficking, all that stuff. Who do you think runs it? It's the banks. Okay, it's the banks. It's all behind everything. All this stuff. Who do you think started the opium trade? It's the royalists. Look at Britain when they started they got rich off this shit, and here they are still trying. So it's like, well, they were drug dealers. That's what they were, and they were using the opium trade to try to destabilize China. They were using it as a weapon to essentially, fuck with the population there and get them all hooked on that shit. And essentially, that's like, and then these are the ones that claim supreme authority of here in Canada and the Commonwealth, and we're gonna accept that. And then you see cops going around, fuck it, you're the biggest mafia. Fuck, like, I'm sorry, like, I have no respect for you now. Like, I know the truth is that you're part of the biggest mafia. Mafia stands for me, anima, fidelum, ius arian, which means my soul is loyal to the laws of the Aryans. That's what that means, mafia. Okay? So if people wonder, if ever you talk with someone, me anima, so me, my anima, which is your soul in Greek or Latin, sorry. Fidelum, loyal. Ius, law. Aryan. And that's what the police serve and protect the Aryans, because that's who they are. They're aristocrats. Ari, which means big or pregnant. Ri, which is the sun. So they say they're born from the sun. They come from the sun. They're the son of God. Just like Jesus claimed he was the son of God. Just like the pharaohs claimed he was the son of God. Really, God is really, I think of it, it's funny because I listening to Paul's research, I've come to understand, I think gods are gatekeepers. Okay, that's what they are. They're the keepers of the doors, the gates, the windows, or whatever. That's what they are. They're not actually the almighty creator. They're just gatekeepers. That's what gods are. They're just keepers of gates, transitions, and things like that. I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. But like I said, if that's the thing is that, when you look at the world and, these people that are part of these professions and we all think, hey, we're supposed to respect them. Why do you think there's so much propaganda in Hollywood and stuff to like show the police to be good guys? It's because they're the bad guys. They're not the good guys. Sorry. And then, like, it's not to shit on the good cops that are essentially like actually doing real investigative, work where they're actually cracking down on real criminals like human traffickers and things like that. That, like, I respect them. I respect those people that essentially, but I don't respect those that essentially go in there and then they go around harassing people and like nitpick at every little thing and try to find justification as to why they can go hands on and put fucking cuffs on you and put you in a rape cage. Those kinds of people there, I really have a fucking problem with, and they need to fucking wake up. So yeah, it's just. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna just end it here. Yeah, I'm tired, man, but it felt good to talk and express myself, and I'm grateful for you guys to listen and be there. And I got 21 likes. I'm pretty wow, that's amazing. I like that, and I'm happy I don't have a big audience, to be honest, because it's intimidating, man. I really don't want as much attention. Hopefully that I just can inspire someone to just take on the man. I could be behind the scenes, kind of help them or whatever kind of stuff, but I really don't want to be putting myself out there. Although when I was younger, I did want to be part of Hollywood. I got scouted when I was like 22. I went to Toronto and I got scouted by a few agencies. They wanted me to go to Vancouver, to go live in Vancouver and be part of an agency, an acting and modeling agency. And I'm glad I didn't go. Knowing what I know now about Hollywood, I think I have a guardian angel that was looking out for me or something to say, yeah, Charles, you don't want to go to Hollywood. I think I would have had a problem being the guy. I'm vocal the way I think I would have been like Mel Gibson. It would have been like, one of those, I would have been one of those stars if I did make it. I don't think I would have, but hey, if I would have, I think if I would have seen the shit, oh, trust me, folks, I wouldn't have sold out. That's for sure. Fuck no. I wouldn't have been, my name wouldn't be on the list of Epstein Island. Trust me. It wouldn't happen, okay? So, anyways, guys, wow, 2 hours. Appreciate you guys listening, tuning in. I love you guys very much. I wish you all the best. I wish you all the strength, courage, and all the support that you need to be able to take on your daily challenges. And also with the world and the state of decay that it is right now, I hope that you are able to survive through and maintain. This is the most important thing, folks, your human attention, okay? In all of this, okay, just remember one thing, that when you die, okay, chances are all you're going to be left with is this, your human attention. So make it a beautiful place, okay? Because if that's all you got to keep you entertained for a while, you're going to suffer. You're not going to have fun. And that's no fun. I'm all about having fun and enjoying yourself, and yeah, it's good to be challenged and stuff, but in a good way, and but maintain a good conscience, folks. Don't let anybody in there, and remember, if you're not in control of it, someone else is. All right. So love you guys. Have a good end of January, and hopefully the month of February brings in good, new, beautiful things. And like I said, folks, you got to check out Black Sheep Researcher. I'm telling you, if you don't check out his channel, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. I'm telling you, okay? I can't say it enough. I tell my family, I tell everyone, every time I talk with strangers, my main topic is always law, really, but then I'll also talk about Janus. Here in Canada, it's funny, Paul, if you're still listening, our flag, the Canadian flag, there's the evidence, is you got the two pillars, 11, with the maple leaf in the middle, which is Janus. Okay, so I don't know what else I can fucking share with you to prove it more, but just check out Black Sheep Researcher. I'm telling you, What the Flock TV. I'm telling you, you're gonna have hours. If you're going through a hard time right now and stuff, you really want to put yourself in a good mindset. Listen to Paul Knight. I'm telling you, you're gonna have fun. You're gonna really appreciate this guy. He's a good guy. I wish him all the best. All the protections of the Almighty Creator and the angels and the ancestors. I'm telling you, this guy is definitely a good guy. So, yeah, I'll finally say goodbye one last time. I know I keep saying it, but I like to talk. So, thanks for your time and words. Thanks again, Just a Man. Excellent live, 100%. Thank you. Cusses and all. Cusses or kisses? Cusses. Yeah. All right, guys, I'll let you go. I'll try to be a little bit more consistent with my live streams. And then like I said, I'm trying to find someone to help me with editing, because I want to start doing some auditing, going out on the streets, talk with people, interview, stuff like that. And then just kind of share what I've gathered, just to have a little bit of fun. All right. So anyways, take it easy, guys. One love. Ciao.